The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
For 9 hours, the concrete confines have channeled these sim racers up and down Mount Panorama. For 9 hours, the different closing speeds of 3 classes of race cars has made negotiating the traffic on the Conrad Strait an exercise in concentration. For 9 hours, the racetrack has sent race teams like teenagers in a horror movie, one by one to their demise. And that brings us to the now, the final 3 hours of the TBR 12 Hours of Bathurst, presented by Team Buschfink Racing and streamed for your viewing pleasure live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Good night, mates, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm Bill Soups On. Joining me in the booth is my longtime partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and I'm pleased to welcome to the GSRC family, Jake Sperry. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Joe Peak, with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by its in-house director of photography, Dougie Beard. The TBR 12 Hours of Bathurst is a special one-off event presented by the guys at Team Buschfink Racing. GSRC is here to bring you the final 3 hours of racing. 38 teams took the starting grid, and we're currently down to about 23 still running. There are 3 classes racing today, the GT3s racing those Audis and Mercedes, the Porsche class, and then a class of front-wheel drive Kias. What makes this event unique is the implementation of full course yellows, which will bunch up the field and keep the racing close. Hey, here's how the GT3s look right now. We started 18 drivers, currently running about 13, with only one driver on the lead lap, and that is the team of Vandeval Sim Racing White. Currently out there racing for them is Santon Kikornen in that team. Vandeval Sim Racing is also one lap down. They have their team with no pigment. They're running in second position. MTM Limits.BESRT running also one lap down, right behind them in third. Vandeval Sim Racing, that's the Azul team, racing in fourth. All those teams in Audi. And then our only Mercedes in the top 5 is Torque Freak Racing Corkscrew right now. Now let me turn it over to welcome back, give another introduction here to Jake Sperry. Go ahead, Jake, why don't you run down the Porsches for us?
Well, thank you very much there, Soup, and a pleasure to be in the commentary box alongside the pair of you this evening. Porsche 911s then here around the circuit of Bathurst. It is Team Superbest then in the number 23 machine that have things the way they want to at the moment. They're 11 laps off the lead as things stand, just coming up out of the final corner to start their 224th lap. Liam Quinn then is behind the wheel of that one, second place currently, and just the 1 lap down, which is actually half a lap at this stage, is Jefferson Padovani then in the Club de Volante car there. The 111 will be looking to try and get themselves forward. Seems to be a 2-car fight in this one. Third and fourth are split by Blackadder Motorsports. The 69 car there has Nicholas Skayats there behind the wheel, and the number 10 machine aptly branded the 68, just to confuse the audience here a little bit more. Carly Janssen then behind the wheel of that one on the same lap, and rounding out the top 5 will be the 381 machine. Torque Freak Racing Radion is there with Jörg Gruber there behind the wheel. And now it's time to pass over to Crackers here on my right hand side. How are things going with the Kia Optima?
Well, things are slim. There's only 4 of them left on track, but let's talk about who's here with us still. The leader, CQR Bandits, Pete Newman in that machine, the number 34, leading the field of Kias right now. He's all by himself there in the lead. He's got 2 laps on his teammate from CQR Bathurst 12 hours. Diogo Melro in that car right now. But again, they're 2 laps back. Now they have to go back to the other CQR team. And they are 4 laps back in third. David E. Baker in that car right now. And those cars were all right now just about on the same pit strategy. About halfway through his stint right now. It looks like they get about 20 laps out of those Kias. Also in this field, still in fourth in class, it's going to be simrc.de, Asia Tech, and that's Maximilian Scheider in that car. And that's going to be the last Kia on track. The fifth place car, Blackadder Motorsports. Juha was in that car last for Finland, and they have been in the pit now for over an hour and a half. I don't think they're going to be coming back out with us. Those four, though, still very much in this race. CQR, though, looking to sweep the podium for the Kias, guys.
Thank you, Sean. And then, before we get down to the racing for real, why don't we take a second and take a lap around the 4 miles here that is Bathurst. Sure, a lot of you probably know it, but for you new viewers who aren't familiar with this place, it is quite a circuit. So let's go ahead and give you a video lap around it right now.
All right, we've got Kevin Brown in the GSRC McLaren, so let's do a lap around Bathurst. Coming down to Hell Corner, you're faced with one of the more critical turns on the track straight away. It's a 90-degree left-hander, so it seems straightforward, but it's tough to resist the urge to be too aggressive and lose time in the dirt on the outside. If you do that, it'll hurt you the whole way up the mountain straight. The next corner can make for an awkward passing opportunity, but anyone faster than you will be eager to get by before things get twisty here. As we come over the crest, you'll set up to brake for Griffin's Bend. This is a medium-speed uphill corner, but clout either curb too hard and you could be in for a world of pain. Now we switch back to set up for the cutting. This corner is a two-parter, with the first apex being a difficult curved braking zone. Then the track is going to climb sharply uphill, where the walls will make things very blind all the way around. After that, it's time for quarry, where you need a little lift for the bump on the inside to prevent wheel spin. The track keeps going up and up until finally you reach Frog Hollow, where we start a series of fast, tricky left-handers. The track is going to undulate up and down while you're trying to play chicken with that outside retaining wall on the exits. Finally, you come to McPhillamy Park, which has a pretty tall curb to the right, which can spin you if you clobber it too hard, so beware. A quick switch to the left to set up for Skyline, and you start your descent through the S's. This dumps you through the infamous dipper, where the drop on the inside is going to help turn the car, so take that into account with how you drive it. From there, the track takes us to the very important Forest Elbow. Get it slowed and hold right so you can straight line that exit as much as possible. Just be sure not to clout that outside wall, and you'll finally have a chance to relax for a second. That's because you're now flying down the Conrad Straight. It's all about planting your foot to the floor and minimizing steering input in an attempt to get as high a top speed as possible. Eventually, you'll bring the car to the left and use this patch of pavement off to the side to give yourself as wide an entry as possible into the chase. Don't lift through the kink, line up the car, and throw the anchors out. There's a huge rise that's going to make the chicane blind, which means you won't know if you overshot it until it's probably too late. As long as you kept it on the black stuff, you'll be preparing for Murray's Corner. This is another deceptive 90-degree turn that can invite you to overdrive it. The inside curb is especially tall, so watch out. If you didn't throw it away in the final corner, you've now finished a lap around Bathurst.
There's a lap around Bathurst, and we come back looking at this battle, which is really not a battle, but we have a pair of Kias going at it right here. Now, moving out in front, that is the team of, that's Pete Newman behind the wheel. On the outside, racing against Diego Melro. That is CQR Bathurst 12-hour. That's the Kia out in front right now, being chased by CQR Bandits, a pair of teammates going at it there, Sean.
Yeah, and they've been working with each other for quite a while, actually. They came in and took a pit stop here about 12 laps ago, both on the same strategy, and I seen, been watching them for a while. It looks like they seem content to keep working with each other here, and they find themselves right now pretty alone on the track. They've got what looks to be a GT3 behind them, but it's still going to be a few seconds before he gets there. So those two cars pretty safe right now on the track, as long as they keep working together and don't. Oh, and boy, I'll tell you what, close moment there for Pete Newman as he was coming down through the dipper there. Looks like he might have got a piece of the wall, but let's face it, at this point, most of these cars have gotten a piece of something. Soup. Even the leaders, not shy of just a little bit of twisted metal on these machines.
They negotiate Forest Elbow, get out onto the straight right now. Now, it's not a battle for position. The car behind is running in 13th position. He is 2 laps ahead of the car in front, driven by Melro, who's currently in 16th position. 16 and 18 laps down. Now here comes the GT3 car coming through. That's Bam Rainiers.
Yeah, and Bram been in the fight, honestly, for most of this race. I've been checking in since about hour 4. Bram's put in a lot of time, and that Torque Creek Racing machine has been good all day. That Mercedes is very strong, and yeah, they're working with just a little bit of damage, but not much. They've done a good job of taking care of that car.
Running 4th in class, 4th overall in the GT3s. Racing Torque Creek Racing Corkscrew. Not like they'd be really good at the Buschfink.
Indeed.
They certainly will. And actually, I just want to bring up the Kias again here, boys, because although they are fighting together in class here, that 2-lap difference is key. But what is also key is actually what just before we were kind of come back into that situation where we were live here with you, we were during the hot lap and rounding the final corner, Pete Newman actually made a pretty big mistake. He got up on 2 wheels then at the final corner, and that's what caused the battling then for Diogo Murray, who was very content to stay behind for the majority of this one. And now if he feels that he can kick away, you know, this might not be over between these two teammates. There's still 3 hours to play with, 3 hours, 10 minutes. And come the end of it, you know, they may be teammates, but in the end, a victory is what they want. They just don't want to throw everything away on the mountain.
And the GT2 that just went through of Torque Creek Racing, they're probably on one of the longest stints right now, Sean. I expect them to be coming in here pretty soon. They've been out there for about 22 laps.
Yeah, now I've seen some of the Mercedes go as deep as about 28 to 29 laps, so yeah, that window definitely going to be opening really soon for Torque
We
Creek.
got a spinner, and it is the car in 3rd position overall. So that's MTM Limits.BESRT. They're going around at the final corner. That's not going to help them in their run. And Corkscrew, where on earth are Corkscrew in all of this one? That's going to be the key then, as a big mistake then lights up the rear tires there, Sue.
Thomas Stockman racing in that machine right there for MTM Limits. Now they have just behind him the team, that's David Baker racing out there for S-Line, but that's not for position, not even for class. Looks like they're going to be able to hold down 3rd position. Go on board.
Yeah, let's look at that on board, Sue, because had the car just that Porsche just to the outside, and he gets in a little shallow into the turn and might have been just back on the throttle on the power, a little bit much coming off. That car got around.
Oh, with 9 hours of racing, you consider that's been a victory. If that's you can come away without any contact with one of the barriers, chalk that up to a good sign. Not to mention the Porsche driver probably thinking he got away with one there as well.
Yeah, you certainly can see that right now, and I think what's quite interesting here about these Porsches that we have been seeing is that the damage that they have on them, I don't think there is a clean Porsche out there who has survived every single little knock and bump. Of course, there is no form of what is a fast repair here in this series. Once you take the damage, that is pretty much all she wrote. And that's been the key here of this one. It's always going to be a race of attrition, and that's why we see some drivers, though, still trying to race when they're about 40 laps down in this event. You know, there is that ability to try and push yourself forward in this one, and I think we are starting to see it right now. Everyone's just knowing how to calm down as the attrition rate's gone down, and that's why we've seen less and less incidents. Also, you have to remember, live stewarding as well, so we could see towards the end of this event, maybe some drive-through penalties come into effect there.
But honestly, Sean, with those live stewards, you just staying on the lead lap keeps you in the hunt.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you in the hunt. And you know what? Going back to the Kia action that Jake was talking about before, Melrose doing a really good job while the traffic was getting through, put a little more distance between him and his teammate there, and Pete Newman. And yeah, that's all we need here is a couple more cautions, and a driver like Melrose finds himself back competing for the win here, and doing a really solid job right now. That car's got a bit of front end damage. I'm sure it's making a little bit of a problem to handle, but the Race Hub Kia is on point, getting through turn 1 now, hell corner, and up the straight.
Now maybe we can go to the leader in the Porsche class. That would be Team Super Best. Hey, I like that name. That's somebody who doesn't have a problem with ego. Team Superbest out there, they are about 51 seconds ahead of Club de Volante, but they're going to be shown on different laps. The leader is between the two drivers there, so they're still on the lead lap. It all depends where that lead GT3 is based on the track right now. But about a 51-second gap with those guys on about the same pit strategy. They've been out there for about 11 laps.
Yeah, they certainly have been right now here, Soup. And what you have to look at here is this 23. His last lap time was a 2:10.6. You look at the 111 machine here. His last lap time, though, was a 2:09.5. So the actual difference there between it was about a second when that last lap was scored complete. So, you know, it's not over and done with. It will never be, especially with the fact, though, that you have to remember this track has a lot of marbles when you go offline. The grip is very, very low when you just run offline just by a smidgen around these corners. So, you know, this is an ever-evolving track with an ever-evolving test. And that's why you can never say anything is over and done with. Just take the 24 hours of 2016 in real world of Le Mans. 23 hours, 57 minutes. The engine goes on the Toyota, and in the end, Porsche takes the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look at that as we ride on board with the 111 right now. They're in a second position in class. The good news for them is they do have about a 7-lap gap then back to Blackadder Motorsports. That's the number 69 machine. So it's really a two-car battle in the Porsche right now, separated by about 50 seconds, but still relatively close.
Yeah, it certainly is relatively close right now, and actually something, Sean, I believe you've been looking at here. The Bandits car has managed to get through again on the 12-hour Kia, so it's back to parity resumed.
Yeah, it is, and they're back to doing some racing again here, heading across the start-finish line and down into turn one again for another exciting trip around with, what is that, Mercedes trying to get through here. Ian Ford, Evolution Racing Australia, coming around on the outside, up the straight. Gonna hit the top of the hill, and he's just gonna get by. Watch the wheels.
Evolution Racing running 6th in class as they make that pass.
I love that hill. Car gets very light through there, even the Kia.
It certainly does, and something that's very interesting about this Kia here, which is becoming a little bit of a nuisance, I'd say, for some of the drivers here in different cars, is, you know, this isn't a car that's literally going to be overtaken in the blink of an eye. It can do up to 160 miles an hour, 170 miles an hour. It's surprisingly quick on what it can do. And, you know, it's front-wheel drive as well, front engine, which means, you know, you got those front tyres doing all the bark and all the bite, and then you got those rear tyres there pretty much just for show. It's a very difficult car to master. That's why you don't see many specialists in it, but CQR, they are certainly the masters of the Kia right now.
Yeah, Jake, I put some laps in the Kia last night. One thing I noticed is it's great getting up the hill, but coming down the hill without any grip there in the rear end, it's almost like being on the back, that last car of the roller coaster. You're really just along for the ride.
Yeah, you certainly are here, and you know what you try and do is you try and get a sort of balance you get between using high speed downforce, let's say, and maybe going for that low drag setup. That is the key then that everyone will be looking at, and it looks like it isn't the best. We saw Diogo Melro just there get a pretty horrible entry there into the Forest Elbow. Just needs to calm that car down a little bit, does the Portuguese driver right now. As you can see, down on the brakes and into this chase section, you can see just how much the track is rubbed in, especially coming out of this corner. Look how many marbles there are on the exit, and again, just run the curb a little bit there. You just can't afford to take any liberties here around a circuit like this. And Soup, I'll come to you on this one here with this track, because, you know, it is one of those difficult ones where at any given moment, the track will bite on you. I'll just say some of the retirees that we've had right now, the likes of Team Buschfink Red, Fitznai Motorsports, and even the likes of Never Quit Racing have even managed to quit the race.
Yeah, if you're going to put an endurance race on any track and hope to survive, I think Bathurst would be the last choice, as basically it is a street course with the walls so close. When they go up and down the hill, there is no room for mistake and no passing in there. You can get stuck behind those slower classes. You have to wait. As we continue to watch this battle there with Melro. And again, not really a battle. One thing I want to check in on as we see those guys, they're kind of comfortably racing. Let's go to third position in the GT3s real quick. We saw the spin from MTM Limits. That gap is about 14 seconds. It's coming down a little bit from Pork Freak Chicken Racing. The Corkscrew team is starting to run them down in their Mercedes.
Yeah, they certainly are, and
They picked up about 2 seconds since I've been watching it.
Yeah, they certainly have here, but what is also to remember is that last lap, though, you could say that Torque Freak actually did the better job, though. They managed to take a second and a bit out of that Torque Freak car, so maybe that MTM car then is just starting to find itself back into the rhythm again here, Soup. And what you are looking at here into this final corner here, there is traffic on the exit. Has to completely back out of that one there to get past the Red Devil Scuderia. That's Adolfo Lanzan Tapia there behind the wheel of that one. That's a 2:05.4 that time by, which was a really nice clean lap. Just compare that to Bram Reyners there, who is coming out of the final corner right now. That difference in lap time then is going to be stated again. It's a 2:05.3 for him as well. So parity there pretty much resumed.
So much of that involves traffic when you catch two. If you get behind a slower class going up the mountains, is going to slow you down. Sean, you still had some practice time in the Kia. How was traffic? Did you have many GT3s and Porsches to work against when you were out there?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. So, Jake brought it up before. The GT3 cars, they don't just get around the Kias. It can be a bit of a crawl at times, especially if you're working with a little bit of damage at this point of the race. You don't just overtake them. You've got to watch your step around them because they will, you make contact with them, it's not going to be good. Both cars take the damage pretty easily. I've been watching the leader in the Porsche 911s right now, Liam Quinn. Now, there's a race going on because he doesn't have that position just all alone by himself laps up. He's got Club de Volante chasing him, Jefferson Padovani in that car, only 45 seconds back and closing. They are putting down some good laps right now, both on about the same pit pace right now. Both cars been out for about 14 laps now, and I'll tell you what, Jefferson doing a good job for Brazil there. They're up 19 spots, find themselves 11th overall, second in class right now.
Yeah, I checked my clipboard. I had that marked at 51 seconds the last time we talked about it. It's down about 6 seconds now as they continue. Club de Volante continues to close in.
Yeah, they certainly do right now, and I think that's a pretty good job then that we're seeing here in this battle for the race lead. What we will see, though, when they do come in, I believe Superbest will be the car who will come in and stop first when it comes to their strategy. Club de Volante went out ahead a couple laps later than Team Superbest did, and what we will see is de Volante take the lead when they next come to the pit stops, but Superbest will be expected to take that back regarding if there is any mistakes or not in that battle here in your Porsche category. I think that if Club de Volante continue on this sort of route, that gap will be closed up before the end of the race there, Soup.
Looking at that Team Superbest team right now, driven by Liam Quinn. That's a driver we know from the Autobahn Motorsports series. He races in the Skippy there. We do him alternating Sundays. And let me correct, that's Absolute Beginner, sorry. There is a Quinn in the Autobahn series. I got that one confused. That's right, it's Absolute Beginners, Liam Quinn, Mr. Excitement. You see him in the Skippies on Sunday.
Well, thankfully, Anthony Quinn's not in any of those leagues. I'm going to have a real mix-up when we're there, Sue.
Sort of the Greek would be tough. Yes.
Yeah, something to note we're seeing right now here. Team Superbest is full of Absolute Beginners League drivers here. They're doing their league pretty proud right now, as quite a few leagues are doing themselves pretty proud. I know that CQR are very heavily featured on Apex Racing TV and the BSR Kia Pro series that we see in that one. So, there's a lot of leagues coming in. Vendaval doing a very good job right now. Something to note right now, traffic being a little bit of an issue right now there for that MTM 18 here. We are seeing here this battle going on here. He's just trying to get around the lap traffic as things stand here. That is the 69 machine there of Black Adder Motorsport, third in class. Gets around that, no problems here, Soup. But, what we are seeing here and what we are realizing right now is, Stockman's here. He's not having everything his own way. He's just getting a little bit bogged down and frustrated here. And that's when the mistakes start to happen.
And we're talking about teams. There is probably no team that's trying to make their presence known more on iRacing than Team Buschfink. They seem to be everywhere. If we're doing a series on GSRC, if we're doing a race, they seem to put in a contribution there somewhere. And let's look, if we look here again as we watch this number 18 car, that interval now down to 12 seconds.
Yeah, it certainly is here, and you look at this battle here going on, 3rd to 4th, 4th, 5th, and even 5th to 6th is even closer than that. Ian Ford is looking to try and close down Vincent L'Herbier there of the Vendaval Sim Racing Azul car there. And let's just get a lap time check then of all these drivers as they cross the line. Ian Ford will be the last to cross. He does a 2:03.3 then, so he's looking to try and make the biggest close in all of this one, a 2:05.6 that last time by for Vincent L'Herbier. So that's 2 seconds plus gone in that one then. And then you look at the likes of Bran Reynolds, he does a 2:05.6, and then you look at that car looking to try and make his way through, a 2:08.5 for Thomas Stockmans. It just shows you get held up there on that mountain there, Soup, and you're losing the best part of 3-5 seconds just being stuck there, not being able to do the lap times that you want to do.
Absolutely, and the best racing going on probably in that GT class, as they are all within shouting distance of each other. Let's go ahead and look at the number 5 car right now, the Vendeville Sim Racing Azul team. They are behind right now, trying to get around the team of Spirit of Le Mans. Jonathan Vital in that one. They're just going to have to wait till they finish going up and down the mountain. Nope, as he listens to me, Vital gets out of the way, lifts a little bit, and that's going to let the Vandeville Sim Racing Azul team get by.
All right, guys, I've got a quick update here in the Kias.
Yeah, go on then. Let's hear it then. The update in the Kias that is going on there. Sorry about that, my man.
No, that's all right. No, CQR Bandits did come in. Andy Schall is in the car for Peter Newman. Long pit stop for them, just over 2 minutes.
It does take a little while, though, in these cars, though, to really fill them up and get them to the brim to make sure they get them going. It's not a case of you have the quickest pit crew in the world when it comes to those. It is a slower fill than other cars here, and, it is a difficult car to work with in terms of those long fill stops. And what you also have to remember there here, Sean, is that when you are looking at that car, it's not the easiest car to deal with. I mean, especially with this track, it has a tendency to oversteer on cold tyres, which is what Andy Scheel is trying to counter with right now, and it's doing a pretty good job right now as we look at the 81 Soup.
Yeah, we expected them to have to come in. They were making a run trying to get up to MTM limits, but we knew they had to come in because they were on a different pit strategy, and they're coming in right now. It'll be a long stop for them. And in fact, I think they've made a driver change as Adam Shipstone is going to get into the car.
Yeah, it looks like they came in right at that 30 lap mark, Soup. I think that's just about the top end of where they can stretch that.
So I think that should move, I think that should move Vandeville Sim Racing Azul. Let's see if they give them credit for taking over that spot.
I'd watch out behind them as well here, because that is Evolution Racing Australia, the 228 car, and that is for position there, Soup, then, as they head up towards Skyline. And now all over the back, the natives in Evolution Racing Australia looking for a way through Skyline, a corner that separates the men from the boys. Can't quite do it at the moment, but coming out towards the Forest Elbow right now, and at that Conrod Straight, Evolution Racing Australia, they've been putting in the laps, and you know what? This is 5th place potentially in the making for them.
Vincent Hebert out in front of Ian Ford. Mercedes against an Audi that is leading the way. And Mercedes now in the tow. Let's see if they're going to get this done before the chase. Ford ducks in, and I think he's going to be able to finish the job. Let's move Evolution Racing Australia up into what I think is going to be 4th position. I think they're going to get out ahead of Torque Chicken. I'm not sure. Nope, maybe not.
Yeah, no, that's where I've got him cycling to his 4th right now, Soup. Yep.
Yeah, you're certainly seeing this right now, and maybe the pit stop window then is becoming a little bit more disjunct right now as things stand. You got that Torque Freak Racing Radeon car then coming out in the terms of what is your Porsche 911 category right now. So Ian Ford will get that position for 5th. Now the question is when those two will come in and pit right now, because, they're a little bit out of sync at the moment here. And Sean, of course, you've been looking at pit road quite a bit here. That pit stop strategy here, people are going to be trying 2 different strategies around here. They'll be trying to play to the hour, or they'll be trying to play to the tank.
Yeah, and right now we've reached that point of the race where you could really start trying to back time things and figure out where you're going to be based on how long those laps take you. I mean, right now, I think what we're seeing is lap strategy, but I think we're going to start seeing time strategy play out here as we're now well under 3 hours now, Jamie.
Yeah, we certainly are under 3 hours, and now people are starting to think, the end of the race, who are my main rivals, who am I trying to fight, and that's going to be the key here when everyone is trying to get everyone said and done. And Soup, we are looking at this situation where everyone is trying to get themselves, finding that battle, finding that man who they're trying to get to trying to find that one last man to get that battle with. And, we are seeing here everyone looking to try and push it right now, and, everyone is really trying to get themselves to the finish line more than anyone else. I don't think anyone here in this field really wants to end up on the fence with, say, an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes left to go in the race, as we see a car coming down onto the lane right now, and that is the team Buschfink racing red car, James King behind the wheel.
And Sean, it's a little different strategy. I know you spent a lot of time up on the pit box. Usually when we do a race like this, the official iRacing series, they don't have full course caution, so you can probably figure out your pit stop strategy.
Car turn around, and that is L'Herbier there, actually, there of the Venval Sim Racing Azul. That's from 5th position there, Soup, and that's down at the chase, and he's so lucky.
Yep, that spun right in front of George Gruber. That was that battle that we were looking at. They came out and they were running close together. I think he was trying to race it on the max. Look at this here. He had just got around Gruber, and then Gruber gets a good view of it in his windscreen.
Mm-hmm. Lucky to not pick up any damage there. Let's look at it one more time here, see. On board here with L'Herbier.
Again, you got to consider that a victory. Didn't make contact with the car or with the wall. Get it back out there. Let's take a look at it from I believe it was the lead porch, no, Joe. We're talking to our commentator right now, but let's take a look. We can go on board with the driver behind. Do we know who that was?
That was George Gruber, I think. Yeah, Gruber, there in the Torque Freak Radion car.
So 5th in class then he was at the time, and he was in that situation where he was on the same lap as that Black Adder Motorsports number 10 machine there. So he did have something to fight for. He was working for it, and in the end, George Gruber though, he gets his own lucky escape here in his little scrap for 5th.
Something you do not want to see after 9 hours plus of racing.
Well, it certainly isn't right now, and what we're seeing right now here is the 381 and the 69 actually together on circuit. That's 3rd and 5th, so that's the Blackadder 69, and crucially not the 10 machine, which is branded as the 68. So there is that 1 lap difference here. So, now is the opportunity here for certain drivers to get themselves into a rhythm, follow a car that's a few laps ahead, and try and work off of them to catch up to the next vehicle here, because you can work with another driver, use their tow, use their draft. And Sean, I think you'll know this better than anyone in terms of racing right now. You can work with people and work against them. It's the Max Verstappen syndrome, Monaco 2015, where he used the car ahead of Sebastian Vettel to make overtakes in the Toro Rosso.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, good memory there. That's a good one to call out. Listen, Gruber is 1 lap away from a podium finish in that 381, the Torque Freak Racing machine. There is plenty to fight for here. Plenty of racing left, and that 14th position is not as far away as 1 lap looks on screen here right now. George is using him to his advantage, using Nicholas Seats to his advantage right now, and we'll see who wins this battle. Plenty of racing left to go, but now Seats going to have to pit before Gruber, at least based on how long they've been out on track. Gruber just getting in that car, so eventually here George's going to be left out on his own, but right now this works to his advantage to just follow along, follow the fast car, and take care of the machine.
Now, Sean, let's follow up on that point I was trying to make there before Gruber had his little excitement happen in front of him there. about being up on the box and trying to chart out your pit strategy. A little different when they have the full course yellows that can throw everything out the window.
Yeah, that throws everything out the window. And everybody has been taking advantage of the full course yellows, for that matter. They've been coming in and using those pit stops. Man, big trouble there. Coming off the top of the hill there in Forest Elbow, everybody checking up.
Yeah, and that was Scats there in the black Adam Motorsport 69 car, getting all shapes wrong coming to the corner. I think he just clipped the wall there coming into the corner as well. He's done well. Now the Vendaval Azul car there will look to try and get past L'Herbier then. Needs to find a way through on that Porsche, and he'll try and send one down the inside here. He's got to be careful. He's had an incident there before. They lock up, and there's a bit of contact there between the two, and L'Herbier around for the second time here on this broadcast.
Wow, L'Herbier fighting for that just fighting to get by, and they make contact. Let's check it out on the replay.
See him look. As the Audi looking for somewhere to go, he makes the move to the inside. Now, does he hold his boy? Yeah, that's big contact. I'm not sure. Where the Porsche...
Bad spot to make a move there in the chase.
It's a difficult spot to make a move there down to the chase. He was a little bit behind, but in my opinion, actually, boys, you're looking at it there. L'Herbier's trying to get to the inside whilst you look at the same position. The Porsche actually locks up, trying to get himself turned into the corner, so it was kind of a 50-50 there. Very difficult to apportion blame there on that incident.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, what we call it here, a racing deal. But I'll tell you what, it inflicts a little bit more damage on that Porsche of George Gruber's there. The Torque Freak Racing Radeon team is pretty beat up. I gotta imagine it's going to take a little bit more out of that car's momentum, Jake.
Yeah, it certainly does. We're going to look at this from Skeet's perspective as well now here in this battle. And, you know, for Skeets, you know, he'll know that there's a car behind. He'll know there'll be a blue flag being waving in the distance. But, you know, it's so difficult to judge that. GT3, it has just that ability to brake so much more than that Porsche. Just because, A, it's got better brakes, and B, it's got a position where it's got itself, you know, better aerodynamic effect, so it can run quicker through the corners. It's that age-old saying, you know, is it always that the car who is the lap traffic is always the issue in terms of this? Every driver will want to claim it is, but in the end, 9 times out of 10, or in fact 7 times out of 10, you know, normally it isn't. It's normally the car's trying to be greedy in the main class.
That was a great shot of it there on the replay.
The bad news for Aber is once those cars spun, Gruber got out in front, so Aber still needs to get that pass done. And they are coming up behind each other. They can try this, what would this be, version 2, version 3 now?
Yeah, you could say it would be version 2, version 3 right now. It's all about just staying calm, though, in these situations. Once you get a little bit frustrated, as L'Herbier is right now, maybe we'll start to see the red mist start to descend. And, you know, in this situation, if you were a team boss, would you take L'Herbier out of the car right now, knowing that he's getting a little bit riled up and frustrated then, costing themselves mistakes and time, and actually costing themselves a podium in the process?
This time he catches them in a much better spot, as he should be able to finish this up before they go up the mountain, and sure enough, they get that done.
Hello, news coming in, yeah, and that is the 381 there, and that's Torque Freak Radeon from 5th position there. That will be a stop and go then for unsafe rejoin there in terms of getting onto the circuit. 5 minutes to appeal that one, so Stewart's coming in and ruling down.
As close. I mean, it's a tough call to make. It really is, because, you know, like you'd pointed out, Jake, it really was kind of a racing deal, and that is a tough call to take, but they do have 5 minutes to appeal it.
Yeah, and Soup, you know, I'm going to come to you on this one here, because I'm looking at this going on forward here. It is one of those things, and it's the 381 then who managed to get the penalty. The 381 currently being piloted then by Jörg Gruber then, as things stand right now. And, you know, that is going to be a frustrating thing for him as he moves forward, because, you know, he was in a situation where he was pretty much fighting with that Blackadder number 10 machine there, the 68 branded car. And now he's going to be dragged a little bit back then into the 68 machine, who actually is the 68 machine in the form of Cameron Dance in the Pure Motorsport car.
Yeah, I can go ahead. I don't know what the disadvantage to appeal anything. If you have 5 minutes, let's go ahead and not like you only have so many appeals you can do, but I would tend to think that Gruber kind of squeezed him. I would, of course, we're here to call him like we see him. Don't want to influence the IRT's decision at all, but that's maybe, in my opinion, maybe something, a justified stop for him. But yes, that is going to, he's in that battle, that is going to slow him down.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, well, actually seeing something else on circuit right now, it is the 27 machine. Tim Weiss there is behind the wheel. And then you got Charlie Fagg there of Fagg Sport there in that number 24 car then, just getting past their lap traffic. One of the final few cars then in the categories of GT3 right now, currently in 9th position. A drop of -2 for the day then in terms of the event for this one here. And Sean, I'll come to you on it. You know, some drivers will feel a little bit hard done by, but it's still in a fight here with the 89 of worldracing.info. You know, there's still opportunity to clamber through the field, and it just takes one mistake, and, you know, the lead can very easily change.
It really can, and with all the attrition that we've had here today during this event, you know, it really, like you said, it's one small mistake away. Some of these cars at this point, if they take on any more damage, it could be the last damage they take. So there are spots to be had. Ruslan Baramakalov is just ahead of him there. They are on the same lap, but about 54 seconds separates them both. But Charlie, again, lots to fight for. Yeah, down 2 spots, but I don't think those spots in front of him are what we call safe yet. He'll keep digging here, and again, plenty of ways to go. But that Mercedes pretty strong right now, and making his way here up the mountain pretty well.
Yeah, you certainly see him making his way up the mountain, and, you know, he's trying to make sure that he gets himself in that calm position to go to the Porsches. You know, we've been catching it on camera quite a bit here, Soup, and that is, you know, just how much they're actually drifting through the corners, how much car control is having to be done time and time again. And, you know, it gets mentally draining on these drivers, the amount of times that you have to try and save a vehicle. You always want the car pointing as straight and as nimbly and as good as you possibly can. And, you know, I'm just looking at these cars thinking, you know, how long is it going to be? We've seen that pretty much everyone has a little bit of damage. How long is it going to be before one of them spins out and creates a multi-car affair? I wouldn't be surprised to see a caution before the end of the event.
Yeah, we talk about the Porsches being fun to watch as they slide around. You have to wonder how much of that is because of the nature of the car and how much of that is because they've all been beat up. As we see now, coming in from first position is Liam Quinn, bringing it into the pits.
Yeah, he certainly is right now. Liam Quinn then in that number 23 machine, Team Superbest. He'll look to get himself then onto the lane, just get that parked up there nice and calmly. Will there be a change of driver? Yes, there will be a change of driver, as it will be Vincent Brame then who will come into the machine then for Team Superbest right now. He'll look to get himself some fuel, some tyres, and get himself back out again. And, well, pit cam then, let's call that a radical success then here, Sean.
Okay,
watch,
but
Sean.
here comes
let's go ahead.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Well, second in class, Club de Volante, Jefferson Padovani, going to make his way across the start-finish line right now. Going to pass and take that first spot.
Sean and I have done too many races together. We're both going to the same spot there. Nice call, Sean. Now, I don't think third place. I don't think Blackhead. Of course, they're several laps down, so it really doesn't matter. So that is a pass for the lead. But, of course, Club de Volante still needs to come in for that stop.
Yeah, they certainly do. And what will be interesting is that the gap will look to try and come down once again. There's a bit of traffic, though, for Club de Volante. They've had the Spirit of Le Mans come through. They've got Torque Freak Corkscrews just come through as well. And they're just trying to ride on the coattails right now as they get up into the cutting right now. You can see it gets very, very close there, heading through the cutting. And, you know, you can't take liberties around this circuit. You know, the moment that you get inches behind someone, you know, it's so easy just to block the road. We see it so many times from the V8 supercars and the Bathurst 1000. You know, just how many times the circuit has blocked up over the years. It could potentially happen again if you get 4 or 5 cars reaching the same piece of real estate.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jonathan Fuller almost got the Spirit of the Chrome Horn there from Padovani trying to get up the hill. That was a close moment.
Oh, even closer moment. I've just seen a little bit of a mistake there trying to get through the Big Dipper there for Adam Shipstone there in a Torque Freak Racing Corkscrew car there. can't quite get away the way he wants to, but now he can finally put the power down there, Soup.
And we see that Volante, now we're looking at the pit stops here, Sean. I would think the Porsches will come in. Are the Porsches, do you guys know, are the Porsches fuel and then tires similar rules to the GT3? I would assume they were. About not taking them on the same stop? And nobody knows this.
I am not entirely positive on that, Sue.
Now, that's one of the things for the GT3. Now, of course, I would think with max fuel loads that these guys are running, they would probably in the GT3s take tires every time. But that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on when the Porsches come in to see if maybe Club de Volante can do something sneaky here and make a shorter stop than Team Superbest did.
Well, I will take... Go ahead, Jim.
Sorry, go ahead, mate.
No, I was just going to say it now. I'm just looking at the pit delta, okay, from last time. The Porsche, only about a minute and 17 seconds, minute and 18. Your GT3s, minute and 29, minute and 31, somewhere in there.
That would make you think off the top of the head that maybe they can do tires and fuel at the same time.
Yeah, it certainly does, and actually something that might come into play with strategy calls towards the end of the race here in your GT3 category especially, is how those tyres work. I've had the privilege of working on a couple of GT3 broadcasts, and the ability to double stack tyres, you know, is one that doesn't actually seem to be too unplausible here in the realms of possibility in this race. You know, if you do manage to get yourself in a position where you can save yourself a set of tyres, you know, the drop-off isn't actually as much as you'd think over an hour's run. So, you know, maybe trying to double stack tyres might be the key. Save yourself about 30 seconds in the stop.
Well, could that be something De Volante is considering right now? They could maybe pull that strategy. Their next pit stop, they're running up against it, and Team Superbest finds himself about 35 and a half seconds behind.
35 and a half seconds, you know, they could try it now, they could try it later and try and work on the tyres that they've got right now. I think the benefit that they'll have is trying to find track position in this situation. And Sue, you know very well that track position is going to be completely vital around this circuit because of that ability to only pass on about half the lap around here.
Yeah, as much as track position is not losing a lap because the yellow flag is going to be your friend. If you can stay in the hunt, stay close enough so when the pace car comes out, you can catch back up. That's going to be the trick right now as our leader in the Porsches are coming in.
Yeah, you can see he hits the brakes there. He just locks up just a little bit. He's got an early stall as well, which is always going to be a little bit helpful in terms of getting into your box. But in terms of getting out again, you know, you want to be as late into the pit box as possible with the draw that you get in order to get yourself out and away and getting up to speed as quickly as you can. It is one of the slower pit stops here around here as Willian Martins da Silva then will get into the car for Club de Volante there. And Club de Volante, you know, they've been putting in the effort. They started 30th here compared to Team Superbest, who started 25th overall. So, you know, they have been making the gains, and they both come from pretty much towards the rear of the Porsches in terms of qualifying here, Sean.
And you can see Superbest living up to their name, Sean, as they go across the start-finish line, going to inherit that lead back.
Yeah, you know what? I keep seeing Superbest, and I can't help but think of Superfly. I don't know why they're safe.
Again, our demographic, Sean, you have to keep in mind the demographic.
Superfly, I'm sure with the young demographic that we've got, it would probably be more like Superdry, the Cokes.
There you go, yeah. Yeah, Vincent. Okay, so Vincent Brem taking that lead back from Team Superbest, though, here in the Porsches, guys, and well, William da Silva gets in the machine. There is, I think that might be an all Brazilian team there for Club de Volante.
Yeah, it certainly is right now, and you know, we need to check the gap again when they next come across the line, because Vincent Brame is now heading to Skyline Corner to show you the difference here. Coming up towards the cutting right now here is William Martins da Silva. So, you know, you look at this Super, it's about half a lap here in this battle right now, and Club de Volante, you know, they've been pulling in just a few tenths after a few tenths every single time. You know, do they have that ability to do it now with the new driver in? actually you say that, he runs very wide there, coming up then as they head towards the series of parks of left-hand corners.
Well, if size matters, it's Vincent Brame's I rating is 3,000 and William De Silva's is about 1,800. Now, Sean, there were some qualifications for drivers to get in here. The teams had to have a certain amount of I rating capability, and they were only letting guys in I think you're only allowed one driver per team that was under 2,000. So De Silva kind of playing the role of the gentleman driver, I think, right now for Club de Levante.
Well, that's got to work into your strategy there, too. Who do you have on your team, and who are your best guys, and when are they going to run? May not be much longer for him. It may be time to get a hotter shoe in the car.
I'll be honest with you. I would feel comfortable with put me together with a bunch of back markers that we can keep the car on the track, and I think we could be competitive out there. It's not so much speed as far as just bringing the car home. I know 9 hours is a long time, but we're faster. We're going to be faster than anybody who's parked in the pits. I know that much.
I mean, you will be faster, but at the same sort of volition, Lady Luck is going to have to be a place that everyone's going to do it. And of course, if you are talking about time zones here, that's another difficulty here when you deal with endurance racing, because if it is an all-Brazilian team, that means that someone's had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start that stint and go for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, till someone wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get back into the car and help. You have to all have your fair share in this series. And, well, you look at these drivers here who are all looking to try and get what they can right now. I see a bottleneck then in the middle of the track. That is a Rusty Laidler there who is getting in the middle of the way then. And that's Thomas Stockman's there of third position, just trying to get around the outside there. He can't quite do it there. So, he gets a little bit pushed off the circuit there. Oh, dear me. And I thought there was a little bit of enough room given, but in the end, it just saw Stockman's. You get on those marbles, it's really difficult. Now, he's able to make the move there, Stu.
Absolutely. You're talking about Brazilians getting up at 3 in the morning. Honestly, my familiarity with Brazilians, nobody's getting up at 3 in the morning. They're going to bed after their stint is done. But that said, we look at this battles. We watch this on replay right now. This is the case I was making about attitude about racing, and put me with the team of back markers and making your own luck. Guys who race in the back know how to avoid this kind of issue. This is something that I'm not sure you need to be in right now. Seems like it's just a matter of judgment, and take your time there and get that sorted out at a better spot. Let's go back live right now as he continues to make his way. We're talking about Thomas Stockman's right now Stockman as he makes his way around the slower car. Jonathan Fuller. MTM Limit still running in third position, but they have to hustle because it's got that only a couple seconds back to, according to my timing and scoring, Evolution, right?
As things stand, yes, I believe they do in this situation here, and that is going to be quite key. Ian Ford has been absolutely flying there, and that Evolution Racing Australia car, you have to say, native experience is certainly going to be easy. You can't exactly drive this car flat out, especially at this circuit, because it's a road, it's public streets at the end of the day. You can't just go and drive flat out here all the time and do some private testing. Oh no, you have to pander to the people who actually live there, especially the Conrad Strait here, Sean. It's one of those places where you got like about $3 million houses there waiting on the left hand side, and it's the perfect vantage point, you have to say, for watching the racing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a lawn chair out there and watching the race from there. It seems like everybody coming down Conrad now into the chase.
Oh, and there's news coming in of the 381, so there is a drive-through appeal has been demoted to a drive-through penalty. It was originally going to be a stop and hold, I do believe. So a drive-through penalty for the 381 for that incident we saw with Vincent Lierbier there in the Vendaval Sim Racing Azul number 5 car. So, 381, they are going to start falling a little bit further back, and any sort of ideals of trying to get fourth in class are starting to be a little bit more slim here soon.
Let's drop back to the 228 machine of Ian Ford now. He is trying to close down into third place overall in class. He's got 3 cars in front of him that he wants to make short work of. First up is Andres Perez, racing there for Red Devil Scuderia. He gets around him. He's going to get 1. He's not going to be able to get these other guys. Let's see if he can get them before they start up the mountain. I don't think so. This is going to slow him down a little bit. Let's see if he... Now, here's a driver who's in a hurry.
Yeah, he's certainly in a hurry. You can see he dives down the inside. Yeah. He's very fortunate there that, you know, he gets out of the way, and there's a little bit of a wiggle there from even the car ahead of that for Ian Ford, and that is of Proper Backfire Racing there. That's Tim Weiss then, who got himself out of the way, and in the process, Weiss will drop the lap to Jonathan Fuller then in the 26 Spirit of Le Mans car. So, you know, Ford, you can see just how much he is pushing right now, and he almost clipped the wall coming out of Sulman Park there. So, you know, you can see he's pushing, you can see he wants to get to Thomas Stockman's, and in just a few moments, he'll be able to see him in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, he is gobbling up that gap in no time, and there is no traffic now between them as they make their way through Forest Elbow, now head down the straight. That gap is 2.6 seconds. This is a battle for position and a battle of drivers that are on the same pit strategy.
Yeah, it certainly is. What you've also got to remember is battle for the podium, and if this Evolution Racing Australia car can push on, then maybe the 138 of Vendaval Sim Racing might be under a little bit of threat as well. Just want to check their lap times, though. 2:04.8 from Tatsuro Hashimoto. So, you know, Hashimoto's safe with a half a lap little gap then that he could exploit and try and work over right now. So the big question is, how far can that 2:28 go? Is there going to be anyone else then who is going to be a little bit of trouble then for him? Because that's a 2:04.5 that he managed to get that time by. So, you know, he managed to take another second and a bit out, or even with lap traffic. And without any traffic, you know, might be 2-3 seconds quicker, and he might be the fastest, if not the fastest man on track right now, Sean.
Yeah, pretty hot on track right now. I'll tell you what, maybe not quite as hot as our leader, though. I just had to check in and see what was going on up front. It's still just a torrid pace for Vendaval Sim Racing White boys. Still find themselves 2 laps up on the rest of their competitors, and Santeri Kekkonen doing a masterful job behind the wheel right now. Just really just on the hammer and without any complication, guys.
Certainly is right now, and you can certainly see here that first place is truly coveted then. It's the number 9 machine there. Santeri Kekkonen then is certainly going to do a very good job right now, and the cake certainly isn't a lie then in terms of Kekkonen's driving right now. 2:04.7 that time by as he looks to come up on Tim Weiss, and so he is coming up on a lot of lap traffic then, so expect his lap times just to slow down a little bit here. And, you know, yeah, and back to 4th as well. That 2:28 is really trying to make that move sorted as well here. So Ian Ford is looking for an opportunity. That gap, you know, he's now got a toe. It's under a second.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't get him here on this time before they get to the chase, he's probably going to have him up the straight as they work their way through the final corners. Let's see, I think he's going to wait a while and get it done coming in. But yes, the car is just coming. He picked up, it's not only faster on the straight, it's also faster up and down the mountain as well. So let's go ahead and we'll watch this legitimate pass here for position. And I think it's going to be a pretty simply done MTM limits out there driven by Stockman. They go across the start-finish line, Ford back there in the Evolution Racing Australia 228 machine. Now here they come. And this should pretty much be pretty quick. Let's see what kind of drive. Both those guys get a good drive off there. But I think in the toe, I think fair Mercedes going at it. No, let me correct. That's an Audi out front, isn't it? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's an Audi.
Yeah, it is, and that Audi isn't. Yeah, and that Audi isn't as quick as the Mercedes. So, you know, the Mercedes will have the straight line speed advantage. The Audi will have the advantage through the corners. Ford now all over the back. They will look to try and find a way down the inside. Very defensive line being taken there. Door slightly opens as they head towards the cutting, but they can't do anything about it there. So he's going to have to be stuck then, waiting for the corner of the straight. Unless there's another mistake, say maybe at McPhillamy Park, he runs a little bit wide. Big wiggle though through the mid part of the corner there. And oh my word, that almost ended in tears for the hard charging Ford.
I see no reason for Ford to push the issue here. Let's wait to Forest Elbow. Let's give him one more time down the straight and see if he can get it done there. Just stay behind him up and down the hill. And I think he's listening to me right now. Just minding it back about a car length back. He's been closing in. The car is faster. We'll see what the Mercedes has for the Audi as they open it up. Here we go. looking for a good exit out of here. Boy, a good exit for the Audi, though. Boy, he's got a ways to go. Let's see if he can get in the tow and get this done. Get the Audi weaving like Rumpelstiltskin trying to break the draft, but I don't think it's going to happen. Here comes Ford.
Oh, he's touched the grass. Oh, my word, that went incredibly close there to an absolute Hail Mary. But Hail Mary, he does, and Hail Mary, here's the podium there, Soup.
So full of grace is Ian Ford as he moves up into third position. Thomas Stockman's back there in fourth now. Going to be a while, Sean, until they need to come in. I was thinking about another 4 or 5 laps, I think.
Yeah, I think that's about right, Soup. Back here following the leader of the 911s, Vincent Bramba's Team Super Best just had to let by some very fast traffic. Vendaval Sim Racing, the GT3, Tatsuro Hashimoto in that car right now, the number 138, a second in class. And I'll tell you what, Vincent made it quite a trip up the mountain. Those two were fighting really, really hard getting up the mountain.
46-second lead over Club de Volante, but they're on the same lap, and that's what that matters right now. Is I think, well, we don't want to assume we're going to see another yellow. When I stepped in to start watching this about 4 or 5 hours ago, about 3 hours before we came on air, there were a ton of cautions, but you know how that cautions procreate cautions, and I think that's what we probably had going on there. Right now, we're on a nice green flag stint.
Yeah, we certainly are right now, as we can see then Andy Shield getting overtaken by Tatsuro Hashimoto there. Hashimoto getting through easily. And, you know, everyone doesn't want to be consistently bogged down by, you know, just slowing it down, doing another lap behind the caution flag and just getting traffic in the way, which is the main problem that actually happens here on restarts is you get slower traffic then joining with quicker traffic, and that's where that big concertina effect happens where everyone starts to get down. Now, Club de Volante actually have closed in a little bit more then in the time that we've been watching. That's another, I believe, 5 seconds then that they've managed to close down in the remaining time right now. Just going to see what William Martins de Silva can do as he crosses the line. The answer was a 2:12 flat that last time by. So, you know, a little bit slower there, but, you know, he's keeping up with pace here despite I-rating. You know, he's being incredibly quick here. And I think Club Brazil is one of the most underrated clubs on the iRacing service here, Soup.
Well, not by me, Jake.
Yeah.
I've been watching the Brazilian guys for a while and watch actually a lot of the iRacing Brazil broadcasts. And listen, there are some hot shoes over there. I think sometimes there's a little intimidation of stepping those toes into the European waters. But yeah, Brazil having quite a run right now. We'll see what they can do. You know, the question is, can they pick up all that time before the next pit stop? They were really close last time. They do a little bit more this time.
Yeah, they could do a little bit more right now, and, you know, they are looking to try and get themselves forward, and, you know, sometimes it has to be done in a case of tenths and not in a case of seconds. Not everyone's going to have that privilege to be incredibly quick right now. I mean, you can talk about traffic being a difficulty. You talk again about Vendaval Sim Racing Azul then having their troubles here today, as you can see L'Herbier now trying to get past Elliot Meme right now here in at the 69, and well, the Meme Machine of Dreams is certainly going to have to let way right now, as through will go, hopefully here, down the straight, that number 5 machine here, Soup.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look. We'll have Sean talk about maybe we haven't given a lot of love to the Kia guys. They're just out there putting in the laps.
Yeah, well, they are. Andy Schall's still in the car for CQR Bandits and holding it down still, making laps around here. Car, you know, honestly, the car has a lot of front end damage, so it's not easy to drive, but he's done a good job of keeping the car out of trouble, and that's what you've got to do here at this point in just the last little over 2 hours of the race. Now, his teammate still 2 laps behind, Peter Harrod in that car for CQS Bathurst, 12 hours, and the top 3 go back to CQR S-Line, and that's Russell Laidler, that car, and we saw him have a little bit of trouble earlier. I think it was in the chase, if I remember correctly. And
right.
4th place right now, Lucas Dolzer still in the car for Sim RC.
Car spun around and it's car spun around, second in class in the Porsches. That's William Martins de Silva there. Turn number 1, Hell's Corner, certainly proving hell right now as he has to do an 1,000,000-point turn to get himself back righted again.
Boy, Jake, and we were just talking about how much time they were making up. It's tough. Let's check this on the replay.
Oh,
There
it
it
just
is in
seems
Hell's
to get a little
Corner.
bit too aggressive on the curve there. Soup, it's very easy just to get yourself a little bit off balance when you're only on 2 tires instead of 4, trying to get through the corner. Traction goes away, and that's the problem there that you have. You've got to respect the limits here, especially the curves, especially as they mount as high as they do around this circuit.
And that's going to bring him back into the clutches. That's going to much closer now is the driver in third of Perez. Within about 6 seconds now with that spin that De Silva made.
Yeah, and what you have to remember there, though, is they are in different classes right now. Red Devil Scuderia there, Andres Redondo Perez there. Yeah, he certainly is. He's running that Mercedes right now, and that's going to make his life a lot easier when he makes that pass. Cars get themselves out of situation. If anything, it just cleans up that board a little bit here for our viewing so that we don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z car being a little bit out of position.
Good catch there on that one, Jake. In fact, there are 2 cars between them, both in classes. 12th overall is, of course, the GT, a slow GT3 car. And then 13th overall is your leader in the Kias before you get back to the next position there by Blackadder. In fact, Blackadder in the pits right now. Car number 10 is just coming out of the stall.
Yeah, and that is Carly Jansen then back into the car, I do believe. Just going to check that one out then to see. Shallen has started this one, so Jansen is back out in the vehicle, and he's put in a lot of laps here in this one. He's taken over from Shallener again, so this 3-car team certainly proving their worth right now here. And Shallener did a really good stint for them, kept them well in 3rd position, but the problem they've got is that they are down 7-8 laps right now, Sean.
Yeah, they had trouble early on, put them behind the 8 ball, as they say, and they've been digging back from quite a way back, but now they're on the same lap with Elliott Mimi, the other Blackadder Motorsports entry here, and that is a podium spot that they're fighting for, so we'll see. It's about 40 seconds separates those 2 cars, and a little bit different strategy on both, but Elliott Mimi in that other Blackadder Motorsports car, the number 69, finished 2nd place, lost the win on the Daytona 500 last weekend, and I just happened to be watching that race, and tough break for Elliott, but he ran one heck of a run there, and got a podium in sight here if he can keep digging.
And Sean, just to finish up on your Kia rundown there, so we only had 4 cars because we had the De Silva spin. We cut away from you there. So I guess there's only 4 Kias that are out there racing right now. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, Soup.
3 of them, and 3 of them are the CQR team.
That's right. SimRC.de Asia Tech is the 4th and remaining Kia on the track, and that's got Maximilian Scheider in the car right now, and they let's see, they are currently, they're a lot of laps off.
I don't think any of them.
They're about 12 laps. They're
none of the Kias are more than 2 or 3 laps next to each other. So
our leader CQR Bandits is in. Andy Shallows brought that car in.
We're looking that Ian Ford had a trip through the Australian fescue, but he brought that back. Running 5th overall right now.
Be careful about that. You don't want to keep picking up incidents. There may be no instant count as such here in this race, but what there is in this race, though, is a slowdown penalty. You can't afford to keep picking those up, and just wasting 2 seconds, 3 seconds, slowing down, driving at a paltry 60, 75 miles an hour when you could be racing at full speed without mistakes. I think that, although you want to be as quick as you can, mistakes, you can only get away with it so many times before, the circuit, the old mistress, takes a bit, then bites your hand off.
So I was checking my notes. Did we mention that Vanderbilt White, the overall leader, had come into the pits there and made a stop? And we just said, and I believe we have a new driver in there as Juan Lopez has taken over that spot, taken over behind the wheel.
Seems like every time I pick my head up, Juan Lopez is back in that car.
Yeah, he certainly is, and you can see now he's got a lot of traffic to deal with. Charlie Fagg in the Fagg Sport car, and he's also got Pete Harrod to deal with as well. So, Pete Harrod will get out of the way there, being the slowest car, and then you can see here at 24, then get underway. Let's go through.
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, they have the tenacity to try it, and you know what? They get it off and work it very well. I think, Soup, you just had yourself a few butterflies in your stomach.
Well, welcome to the race. I just don't understand this. This is a move. I was just mimicking what his teammates were saying, as that's something with only 10 hours behind the wheel. That car's been out there. Oh my goodness.
What a big kick of oversteer there from Fagg coming out of Murray's Bend there. So, everyone's pushing now. Everyone's, thinking, there's opportunities right now. Even though you could be running on your own for the best part of 20, 30 minutes without seeing a car in sight, you might see the entire field breeze past you in the space of 5 minutes, You got to keep aware, you can't fall asleep at any stage. And if you do, well, let's just hope that you wake up in time to catch the car.
See, that's a driver getting behind the wheel, ready to race. But he has to remember that he doesn't, for all he knows, the drivers he's racing against could be out there on a 6-hour stint. So, I'm not sure if that's the move you want to make.
Okay, guys, second place car, Tomas Stockmans is coming in. GT3 coming down the pit lane, 32 laps.
So that 138 then of the Vendaval Sim Racing then is looking to try and get through it, and it is that 18 machine then down on the lane. That's Thomas Stockman's, and we've seen a couple of errors with Thomas Stockman's today here. So, it'll be interesting to see whether he'll switch drivers here coming towards the end of the event. You can see he's taking tyres. No, he's not. Fabrice Cornelis then back in. Fabrice Cornelis, you normally see him in the Scuderia Leone team, joining MTM then for this race. So Fabrice Cornelis, a very established driver in open wheel vehicles, Soup. So, you've been commentating on the Formula Renault, especially the AOR, seeing the likes of Savasti and the likes of Quakel on that brilliant championship. I think Cornelis really would bring something to the table in that respect.
Yeah, let's look at Vendaval Sim Racing Azul. Do we have a pass for position as well? Did they get around Sim Racing?
They just got out of the pit, Soup, and did it. Now they find themselves in 6th right now after that pit stop cycle, but Nils Sitkowski behind the car. Sitkowski, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm looking at the 138. Is that not?
No. Yeah. Okay, the 138 of Nick Thim in that car, Nicky Thim in that car, Vendaval Sim Racing. Yeah, they did the lap and a half ago. They were in, Sue.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you have like 3 Vendaval Sim Racing cars up inside the top 5 dominating, we try and make sure that we understand where we are in this situation. But when you name them so close, you have to rely on colours. And I believe Soup here.
I'm going to get on my soapbox. Disney,
you have your own little
There are so many options. Vendaval Sim Racing Cucumber, Vendaval Sim Racing Carrot. There are so many Disney princesses. There are so many fictitious animals. Everyone chooses colors, and all right. I'm stepping
all right, guys.
down now.
Interesting spot on track here. George Gruber, Torque Freak Racing ready on, and Nils Sitkowski, Vendaval Sim Racing Azul getting by.
See, I give
clean.
them. I give
no
them
contact that time.
I give Azul credit. At least I believe that is blue. So at least that's not called blue.
Yeah, you can certainly see here how everyone is looking to try and play this, and we saw how Vendaval and Torque Freak came together, and in the end Torque Freak got the bitter end of the stick then as everything looked and pushed itself moving forward, and you can see there no issues there. I don't believe Joe Gruber wants to get himself into a little bit of a scrap, and now he's got another Vendaval car behind there in the form of Nicky Thiem. So you don't get a break here around this circuit. Vendaval are coming at you from all angles right now, it seems.
Well, George Gruber has got a fan in me right now. Poor guy can't catch a break. He's just surrounded by Vendaval.
Oh, you can see just how close they get there up the hill. And now you can see Thiem's now going to have to wait now for an opportunity. He'll try and get it coming off the corner. And he moves aside, then finally realizes it. Theme, they're getting a little bit impatient, and that sort of driving here, Soup, is one that leads to mistakes. So Theme needs to start trying to cut that out a little bit, that aggression. It doesn't need to be in the car right now here, as he pretty much has second place wrapped up in a bow at the moment.
I think racers are racers. It's hard for them to tone it down, but yes, certainly comfortably racing in second position right now is Nikki. Is it Thim or Time? I've heard about Time. What are we going with here? We'll go to Joe Peak. He would give his official call on this. How are you calling that one, Jake? Theme.
I was calling it Nikki Theme. So,
I'm saying
whatever on earth it's called. I mean, I was the driver. I was the guy who said May wrong. So, I'm not right 100% of the time. I'll try and be the dictionary.
Well, you're on the same continent as these guys, so we're gonna yield to let geography be the deciding factor.
Oh, sure, we have some Kias up together once again here. Pete Howard and Andy Shield right now. The CQR Bandits car has that CQR Bathurst 12-hour Kia car just ahead. This is second and third in class, if I'm correct, and the difference between them is 4 laps.
Yes, it is, but a couple of Kias hooked back up on track. This could be fun. They have a little bit of traffic on its way. There's a Porsche 911 back there. It's the 10 car making its way up through. But they've got a little race going on here coming down the hill.
Well, Sean, when we first came on air, remember, that's kind of what they like to do. My dad used to call that hospice racing, when you're racing surrounded by loved ones. And I think that's what CQR likes to do. They like to get all the guys together so they feel comfortable.
Yeah, and, just to say just how close they all are, the final CQR car is only down at turn number 1 right now as things stand, and behind that is Rusty Laidler there in that CQR S-Line car, the final one in the group as things stand right now. That Bandits car, I get that incorrect, it's actually leading this event right now in terms of your Kia category. And looking at things right now, doesn't have to make the move. Pete Howard, Andy Shield, very good mates here as well. I believe there's about 12, 13 CQR guys who are all pushing for this one. And I have to say, for CQR, if they get all 3 of these positions, they can just pilot and triumph and pretty much laugh, you could say, at this situation. Because, their preparation has pretty much been, get out of the way of everyone and drive as cleanly as you can.
Well, and Andy right now in the, not the middle of, but kind of the beginning stages of his now second stint in the car. And it looks like most of the guys on the CQR teams have been doing exactly that, double stints there, Jake.
Yeah, and clean is not the best car to describe any car, you could arguably say right now. Attrition in terms of damage has certainly been out there, and I don't think anyone really has the cleanest car in the world. I think that's something else, Soup, that actually is one of the difficult things here about team racing. One of the best sims here at iRacing to really implement that is that when you do get into that car and it's not the same as you quite remember it, the question is, how will that car drive? Is it going to drive the way you like it? Is it not? Can you adapt to that different car? That is going to be the big question, though, and that is something that needs to be, thought of in the minds of drivers here. That's why this is such a difficult event here. 12 hours, the car's evolving as much as the track is.
And we've seen drivers have a clean stint and then have an incident on the very last section of their stint. They say, I've damaged the car, I'll bring it in. Now it's your problem. Yeah, that's I love the team aspect, the driver swaps that iRacing brought in. You got to give the platform a lot of credit for doing that. Has totally changed the dynamic of racing, and I think drivers take more pride. At least the drivers that I've talked to take more pride in winning a team event than they do in winning a solo event. It really is a unique feature.
I'm gonna endorse that sentiment. Yes, there's nothing like a team victory in these endurance races. Having been on that side of it, I can tell you it's a great feeling. And I'll tell you what, there's as a driver, you feel so obligated to that guy waiting to get into the car. You're running every lap as hard and as fast as you can Also with the thought in mind, though, that I've got to take care of this machine. I've got to get it to the next guy clean.
Yeah, you certainly do, and well, we're certainly seeing that there. Just seen a little hairy, scary moment there as we saw Red Devil Scuderia there, the 666 with Andres Redondo Perez there behind the wheel. Jörg Gruber, a driver who seemingly can't get out of the way of lap cars there, had a little scary moment coming down the Comrade Straight, locks the brakes into the final corner. You know, he tried to slow down to let the car behind go through, who was sitting behind a little bit thinking he wasn't going to get the chance, and then when it did come, he was caught a little bit unawares there, Soup, and almost ploughed straight into the back of Gruber, which would have been a disaster for both teams.
Yeah, Gruber certainly has had his share of excitement out there. As we're going to watch the replay right over on board now with Perez. Looking on the back, that's the same car that had the drive-through penalty earlier. And
Coming over the hill there on Conrad.
And there we see it made successfully. Let's go.
Boy, look at all the rubber, out of rubber on the track there, down in the last turn, Soup. That downhill turn there. I'll tell you what, that left-hander is a tough one. Hard braking zone. You can the proof is in the rubber on the track for sure.
Let's go to the car number 81 here of Adam Shipstone. He's coming up on the back of these two. In fact, he takes care of one right there. Sean, one of the disadvantages that these Kias have when they run together, and they've given themselves a little bit of distance, is when lap traffic or the faster cars come around them, they have to try to pass two at the same time. We see now that the CQR cars have split up a little bit, and it's going to make it a little bit easier for Shipstone to get through them. When they're running nose to tail and the Porsches come up behind them or the GT3 cars come up behind them, it makes it a little more difficult for those cars to get along because, well, the Kias are 3 or 4 times as long when they're running nose to tail.
True. Kias almost look like a Cadillac.
And there goes Shipstone. He gets around now. That's Torque Freak Racing. They're due to come in for a stop here pretty soon. Currently running 5th in class.
Well, we are seeing potentially a pit stop happening right now, maybe, because, you know, we are looking for drivers then looking to come in and heading towards the hour right now, just a minute away from 2 hours to go. And, well, the strategy calls will come in, people trying to play that to the hour. And we got 3 cars here, line astern here. You got the Vendaval Sim Racing Azul, Vendaval Sim Racing, and WorldRacing.info then, all 3 in the same class, all 3 together, all 3 climbing the mountain, maybe all 3 together at the same time right now. As you can see just how close they run it to the wall coming out of Sulman Park there. Neil Senkowski then just grazing the wall ever so slightly as he came through Skyline next then for the slot on lap 269.
And actually we have moved into the 2-hour mark, so we are under the 2-hour mark to go. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Team Buschfink Racing 12 hours of Bathurst. Why don't we take a short break and we'll be back in just a few minutes and see if we'll go from here to the checkered flag. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Team Buschfink Racing's 12 hours of Bathurst. We are currently working with 1 hour and 52 seconds left of racing in this 12-hour event. We've been on air for about an hour, and we're going to see if we can take it all the way to the checkered flag from here. Your leader in the GT3 class, Van de Waal Racing White, there, well out in front by over a lap over their sister team of Van de Waal Racing, Pigment Free. And then running in third place, Evolution Racing Australia, the number 228 machine. In the Porsches, it is Team Superbest. They are in a real battle with Club de Volante. They are still on the same lap. That could come down to a matter of a yellow flag bringing them together. Then Blackadder, as we're looking on board, we have a little bit of an off right then, and he continues to have trouble. That's David Barkloff.
Yeah, David Barkloff then
for
having
Torque Freak
a lot
Racing.
of yeah, in that 381, can't get out of the wars there, and it was side by side there, I do believe there. Sorry for butting in like that there, Sue, but you know, you see, Barkloff though, he tried everything. He's had a few little issues, and it was Elliot Maymay who made the pass then, and it was a little bit of dispute there about how much space he was actually given. Had to take to the grass in avoidance. Very lucky he didn't clip that wall.
Now Barkloff running 16th overall in his Porsche. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in class. But Sean, 15th overall, as we looked at on replay, is the CQR Bandit team.
Yeah, and that's Andy Shaw still behind the wheel there for the CQR Bandits. They are in the lead by 2 laps still over their competitor and teammate CQR Bathurst, 12 hours. Pete Harrod still in the car. Now, they are about halfway through their stints right now and drop back to third in class there in the Kias. We have the CQR S-Line team. Russell Legler still in the car. And again, they're all just about on the same strategy, give or take a lap or two. The fourth Kia still out there running is
CQR?
Max. No, it's actually that's simrace.de, the Asian Tech team. Maximilian Scheider still in the car. And again, he's still he's right there with him on about that same strategy, although finds himself many laps back, 14 laps back from the leader, the CQR Bandits.
Let's give him credit for staying out there and still running. There are only 4 Kias racing right now. He's the last of the bunch, hoping for a mistake, I guess, from the guys in front to vulture a few spots.
Yeah, but hey, Sue, you know, we did pick up a car since we started this broadcast.
Really?
We started with 23 on track. We now have 24 out there racing, and I believe that would be the Sonic Racing team, GT3. Ricardo Martin's behind the wheel now.
Full disclosure, Sean and I and Jake were all concerned when we heard what we were doing coming in 9 hours into a 12-hour race that we'd only be looking at a handful of cars. I got to give a tip of the hat to all the drivers, all the teams out there, giving us a good battle here. We still have some good racing to go after 10 hours of racing. We still, while the GT3s are pretty much decided and so are the Kias, the Porsche, Jake, the Porsche is still very much open up for debate here.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we've seen over the hour that we've seen here, an hour and a bit, not exactly the hour and 52 seconds that we have left in our event soup. We certainly do see here it is quite close between Superbest and Club de Volante right now, but the difference is it's opened up more than it used to be, because we did see that spin earlier on into turn number 1 from Club de Volante, and that's brought it to almost a lap once again, and that's going to be the difference maker then in terms of this one. Vincent Brain has certainly done a good job behind the wheel, and that last lap though was about 4 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, and De Silva had trouble for Club de Volante. I believe it was about 2.5, 3 laps in when he had that spin on this stint, his opening stint in the car. And yeah, that gap is now a minute. When they broke from the pit at the beginning of that pit, I believe it was only about 40 seconds. So certainly has lost a little bit here, and they are still battling. Another thing right now I'm noticing, Vincent Brem was just passed by that Red Devil Scuderia team. That's trying to get them, the 666 car, back on the same lap as Team Superbest for overall 10th place.
And if you're a fan of some of the series we cover here on Global Sim Racing Channel, That Team Superbest manned by three drivers racing in the Absolute Beginner League. Vincent Rin, Dean Quinn, and Johan Vanderbilt. All regulars in that Skippy series that we cover on alternating Sundays. Give that a look-see if you haven't checked it out yet. Always put on a good show. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, they certainly do. And, well, everyone's pushing right now. And, well, I actually want to go into the closet here and get the book. As we can see, coming down into pit road right now is that driver there of Adam Shipstone there in that Talk Free Racing corkscrew car. I do want to go and open up my dictionary right now and talk about that 111 machine, that Club de Volante here, and probably the meaning of Volante. I'm probably going to butcher this. I'm probably going to get it completely wrong. But in terms of this team being a completely Brazilian team here, the more you know, ladies and gentlemen, Club de Volante. Volante, in the end, were a form of Brazilian soldiers combating what was known as banditry in northern Brazil. So you could call them the Club of Bandit Fighters right now here, Sue.
Well, I like that. Well, I don't know if CQR Bandits are going to appreciate that name very much, but but I think that's certainly... Thank you for that, Jake.
It sounds like some bad dudes I don't want to be around.
I do not. Well, it does give a little flavor to that team now. The Bandit Fighters.
Certainly does, and well, you can see they've been doing well at fighting the bandits of their own mission right now as they continue on their little scraps as well. You look further back, though, we have seen some chargers throughout this race. The 228 machine has certainly been looking to put his charge then through the field. That's Ian Ford behind the wheel here. He is the only other car then in this field who is on one lap down. Warnings, though, have gone to the 89 and the 6, though. The 89 machine will be worldracing.info, and the 6 machine will be the CQR S-Line car. So, two different classes being involved. Unjustifiable risk for both of them. 5 minutes of appeals for both.
Let's go to this number 6 car right now. As it's a car trying to get around him is the Spirit Sim Racing machine behind him. That is I'm looking at that from a distance. Is that a Mercedes I'm looking at? I believe that is, yes. So that's the GT3. Boy, he was having a hard time getting around and going up and down the mountains. Russell later up there in the number 6 machine. Now on the straight, we should be able to get that done. And there goes Messias Tigre. Gets that pass made for Spirit Racing.
Very nice pass there, we can see, and actually you can see Layla now tucked back into the slipstream here, but he has to hit the brakes a little bit earlier, can't turn it in as well as he'd like, and well, he stays onto the back of him, fair play to the man, but won't get enough drive coming out of the corner, not enough 0 to 60 time there from that Kia Optima to be a realistic challenge right now into the corner. Actually, Rossi Layla has himself a bit of real-world heritage as well, as he almost clips the barrier coming out of Murray's. He's very, very good in a Golf Mark II, ladies and gentlemen. So, he does like his racing, and he's actually been considering so far this year to run a BMW in a compact cup in the United Kingdom.
That's pretty cool, actually. BMW, though, big difference from this Kia he's running right now. That was a close call there coming out of Murray for him, and does a good job of keeping it on track. That Kia's, though, got a lot of damage on the front and rear of that car. This Kia is a pretty wicked machine, a lot of horsepower. It's got to be tough to continue to keep that car pointing in the right direction around these many turns.
Yeah, it certainly is, but I am seeing here a very hairy, scary situation, which was involving, oh yes, you guessed it, Talk Freak Racing Radio on David Barclay behind the wheel of that one. He had to get both Vendaval cars past him. He did at the end, and it was at Skyline. It was a very scary move. Now he lets that GTL VRT silver car then try and get through as well. That is Premek Banchik then. Try and make that move as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's letting him.
You're right there, Sean. He's not letting him go.
Man, that 381 machine has been involved in everything today and in the chase.
Oh, my.
Communication, lads. Come on. Lap traffic should get out of the way, but by the same volition, though, Soup, you can say if he feels he's the faster car, he doesn't have the right to let the car through. Remember, blue flags are advisory and not compulsory.
Yeah, but it's a really loud compulsory. It's compulsory with an exclamation point by it as we look at it. Yeah, we're gonna. Boy, it's just closer than I'd like to see. Look at that 3-car battle. There we go.
Yeah, no, you just got to be careful though in these cars. You know, when people are trying to get themselves past certain cars, you know, some drivers will let you through, some drivers won't. You got to know who your enemies are. That's Premjet Banchik finally making the decision then down at the cutting even. And yeah, you know, sometimes you have to force your way through, and sometimes you say unjustifiable risk. Well, how much is unjustifiable risk? And the question though now remains here. Will there be anything to say with Stewart? And you know what? He's trying to come back here. Fair play, good gut. So David Barakoff has to back out of it there as he gets no grip through Solomon Park.
Boy, that was touchy. He almost lost it there, and Banchik starts to run away now, coming down the hill. We're checking the replay out here. On board with Barraclaw as he puts it up the inside here in the quarry.
And you can just see there coming out of that corner, then he gets himself just away through, and then back to life we will go once again. And well, you know, he's trying everything he can just to, you know, hold position. Remember, he is 5th in class right now and wouldn't want to throw anything away right now. The 68 Pure Motorsport is only 3 laps away then, so if there is an instant, you know, can't afford for it to happen to them, and that's going to be something that might need to be a little bit looked at right now. Warnings, of course, for that incident a couple of laps ago also might come into play, so the stewards having a very busy time with that 381 machine there, Soup.
Now, hey, listen, quick update though at the head of this class for the 911s. The fan belt is in the car, Soup, for Team Super Best.
Johan Vanderbilt coming out, yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly doing a good job, and now he's going to have to let that car behind him try and get past. That's 3rd in class for your GT3s, if memory serves me correct. Fabrice Cornelis then will look to try and get it down the hill at Skyline, and this tests the man against the boys. Well, we know who the man was in that situation, and that would be Fabrice Cornelis. He's through there without too many worries right now, and you have to say, you know, prove the league proud. You know, Team Super Best, well, they are Super Best in Porsches right now, excuse me.
Let's go ahead and look at a Porsche car number 89. This is Serahip Pakotnia. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because he's got this issue where he's coming up on the back of David Barclay again in the 381. Let's see if this works a little better for him.
Soup, did you say Porsche? Because I believe that looks a little bit like a Mercedes to me.
I believe it does. Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
The wing is killing you, Soup.
Ooh, drive-through penalty then for the number 6. Avoidable contact with the 666 in the chase. 666 being Red Devil Scuderia. The 6, in the end, is being the CQR S-Line. It's literally just popped up on our screen, so we'll try and get ourselves a little look at that, and I believe there would be last lap, potentially lap before that one, then maybe we saw that instant. He's finally passed those Red Devil Scuderia, so in the end, it has gone in the favour of that Scuderia team.
We think we might have it on replay.
Well, we're going to try and we're going to see here, and you can see on this replay here coming out then of Forest Elbow, looking to come down the straight. Avoidable contact here we are looking for right now. Goes to the right-hand side of the circuit then here, trying to make the move is the 666 machine. The 6 there on the left-hand side, then just passes the houses on the left-hand side, and they're going to remain side by side. And this is where the Kia comes into its own effect here, because, you know, it gets itself into that situation. Onto the brakes it goes, and is there contact as avoidable? He does send it down the inside, and he turns the man. So Laidler there, a very risky move, and in the end it doesn't pay off for him.
That's not the first time we've seen Laidler in a little bit of trouble, and it's going to cost them. They do have that 5 minutes to appeal.
Yeah, that's going to be. They're going to need. They're going to need Johnny Cochran to come back from the grave to win that appeal.
Boy, a wicked moment there for Banchik, that GTL VRT silver machine. Just up there on Skyline.
Yeah, very, very scary moment. Laidler will serve it then, so he's not going to protest it. He's going to take that, and, he's a pretty honest driver from how I've been talking to him over the years. I've worked pretty closely with Rusty, and, he'll admit when he's wrong, and, well, we've seen some pretty heated discussions. But, of course, looking at Skyline there, that was a big issue there that we saw earlier on. So, yeah, looking at that one, Sean, there, that instant that we just saw that, I believe it was, I can't remember the car that you said, so do remind me.
Oh, it was Banchik. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, big instant there. The 26, though, Soup, you have been looking at here. The Spirit of Le Mans under a little bit of pressure right now here. Just behind there is that GTL VRT silver car then, which is trying to get itself back through the field. Currently 38 laps down as things stand. And in the end, can't actually catch. So is there enough damage there on that GTL car, which means it is being affected by its engine in terms of being on a straight line?
Yeah, he was able to run him down in the going up the mountain, and I thought he was going to be able to make the pass for sure. It's kind of interesting to watch. Then when they went through Forest Elbow, the Kia just pulled away. The Spirit of Le Mans we'll watch it again here, and we'll see what kind of run they have through this corner that sets up the long straight here, and see what that Kia can do. You would think that the Mercedes should be able to get him here, but that car is so damaged. Let's see what happens this time.
Yeah, and the Porsche now goes over to the left-hand side, and now it's going to be about how much 0 to 60 time that engine will have. Now a damaged engine will not ever get the best amount of output, and it goes side by side, and now lifting off of it. Yeah, he will get the position, but it's not the way he would have liked it. Jonathan Fuller, he had his number pretty much throughout the straight, and if he wanted to, could have sent it side by side heading into that very difficult turn number 2 corner there. So, a lot of worries there potentially of that GTL car trying to get back through the field. They're not going to get too far. The next car on road for them here, Sean, is that 797 SimRC.DC Asia Tech and Maximilian Scheiner then. The car behind the wheel of that as we got side by side then, and that's Fabrice Cornelis trying to get around their Kia. Contact, and that's Laidler onto the grass.
Boy, more trouble for Laidler there.
And into pit lane. Yeah, let's see then on the replay then just what happened. It was just the lightest of touches though. You can see he goes side by side, he holds the curb, and that's a difficult one to call there because Laidler did give room, but I don't think he gave enough in my opinion there. Soup, I don't know what your opinion is, and nor yours, Sean, as well. And well, you have to say, Soup and Crackers, well, Soup, Crackers, and well, a little bit of argy-bargy.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. Now, Laidler was just out of the pit and now back in, so I'm going to assume there's damage on that car that needs to be repaired at this point. And now we've got a driver change. Actually, Matthew Bunn gets in the car for Laidler.
I feel like Laidler didn't hold that inside line. It seemed like the outside car did all he could.
Ooh, maybe Laidler had just had enough.
Well, yeah, Red Mist descends, and well, you have to make sure that you get yourself out of the car when you feel that everything is going away, and he certainly has had enough in this situation. The Bunn, you could say, certainly is in the oven. Matt Bunn, not the quickest driver out of the CQR boys, but certainly one who knows how to fair share mince himself in terms of the battle. So, Matt Bunn, well, maybe we could see a baker's dozen of overtakes.
We really went there.
Yeah, boy. He used them all up, didn't he?
Well, we got a few hours. I might be able to salvage a few more oven puns.
Let's go to our overall leader right now. He's got just around one car. Now he's got another one to negotiate here. We'll see as he works around Club de Lente there. Is they certain enough gets that managed, gets that done.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Our overall leaders right now, Vendaval Sim Racing, the entire team, they this is the beginning of 2017. Soup, Jake, they look to be in a rare mid-season form already, if you would.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I certainly will. Vendaval Sim Racing are impressing me right now, and, looking at Vendaval and what they can do, the question is, they need to be in a situation where, in honesty, they need to be even better than they are right now. This is promising form, but they need to find a little bit more in them to, to challenge for major titles. And I think they have the potential in them, and I think they have the driving potential to actually go and do it right now. So, watch them over the next 12 months, 2 years, see who they bring in, and, who knows? Vendaval might become a driving force in endurance racing.
This gap between us, we look at Team Superbest now, this gap has opened up to about a minute and a half. Superbest starting to get visions of maybe lapping Club de Volante.
I think we're starting to see some back timing going on, at least in the Kias, guys. Lucas Dolzer just got in the car there for simrc.de.
Running 4th overall in class behind the 3 CQR teams. Just trying to bring it home. Still waiting for those guys to make a mistake.
Oh dear me, don't tell me Matt Bunn involved in a little bit of a moment for the S-Line car. Well, let's go on to replay and see exactly what has happened with him. Oh, it was just being overtaken then. It was a lot of overspeed there between him and Cornelis. And Cornelis there, he's trying to come around the corner. He's trying to get that run in through Skyline. It's the most dangerous corner. And oh my word, how close do you have to get to the back of a car there? And, fair play to both of them. They keep it all together, but that could have ended with fourth place in class, shall we say, ending in a little nasty scrape.
But they both keep the car going in the right direction. And Matthew Bunn continues off 3rd in class right now.
You just have to wonder, say, with Matt Bunn there, if maybe a couple of dumplings in the oven had spoiled there over that incident.
Keep going, Jake. There's more.
There will be more, and
boy.
I'm here all evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I just checked in with the 4th place Blackadder Motorsports car, the number 69, Nicholas Seats, back in the seat. He's fresh out here, 2 laps into his stint. And you know what? They are on the same lap with 3rd place, Carl. Their teammate Carl Jansen up there for Blackadder Motorsports, and about just under a minute up the track.
Now that is going to be the key there. That 1 minute can be closed down. They've got 90 minutes to close 1 minute. So by that reckoning, they have to close about a second every... let's try and get the maths calculator out. About every 9 minutes, they've got to try and close up. No, my maths is so bad though. They've got to close about a second, half a second a lap, I assume. Half a second to 3/4 of a second a lap. Not impossible, but improbable, shall we say.
Guys, let's go up to our leader in the Porsches right now. This is Johan Vandervelde racing in the 23 machine. I just got a bad feeling. He's coming up, he's got a driver behind him. It's a back marker, but it's a faster class, and that's Ricardo Martins. Martins has been trying to get around him for a while. He's been right up on the back of him, really close, having a hard time doing it.
Oh, big wiggle. Yeah, that was a big wiggle coming through the Big Dipper there for that number 23 car, and that just gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit there, because that could so easily be the end of what you try and do. Ricardo Martins now with a big advantage to make the move and gain back the lap on that vehicle there, Sue.
Right, the problem is he doesn't, and I'm not sure if the car is damaged. You can see the car just doesn't have any straight line speed, so again, the Porsche pulls away from the Audi, and then he catches back up to him again, and the battle continues. He's back there the whole time.
That Audi is pretty nicked up, Soup. He's pretty much which corner doesn't have damage. All 4 of them are, I wouldn't say it's crabbing, but with the way the body panels are looking on it, it gives almost that appearance. So car is probably a little bit tough to handle, and he's just not able to pull that move off.
So here you are, the leader in class. You have a car that's faster than you that has been banged up. So it's not faster than you anymore. It doesn't handle very well. What do? If you let him by, you might actually be running faster lap times. Let's see what happens here. He gets a good run out. He should be able to get this done here.
It just won't go.
No, it's just not got enough, and that's frustrating, and he doesn't have to let the position go. So now it's about last of the late breakers. He will let it go. I'm just questioning why he didn't let it go a corner earlier there, because there was the opportunity to make that move, and in the end he decided to block it and say no. So Team Superbest, maybe a few decision-making there, moments that aren't quite going to the book as I would like, but, you know, in the end of the day, they keep it on the road, they keep it racing, and they keep leading, so I'm not going to argue.
And, you know, actually, they are still in a battle for the top 10 overall. Jake, Red Devil Scuderia just pitted. That's a GT3 car, but now back to 11th place overall.
Yeah, and that's Pablo Villafañez then behind the wheel of that one for the Red Devil Scuderia. And if I may try and find something in every hour that we do, I'm going to try and delve into my encyclopedia right now and try and work out about Scuderia. Scuderia, you know, you normally hear Scuderia in terms of the two top Formula 1 teams in the forms of Scuderia Ferrari, the Prancing Horse, and Scuderia Toro Rosso, the Prancing Bull. So you can certainly take the idea of prancing, normally an Italian name that comes into mind. Of course, most synonymous with the Ferrari, especially with the Ferrari F430 Scuderia. There are a lot of teams on iRacing here who like to use that Scuderia name, the likes of Scuderia Leone. The Red Devil Scuderia is another one that does like to try and use that Scuderia name, and I think Scuderia for its literal term is stable, but you know, the Prancing Red Devil certainly looking to prance on and try and get back a couple of laps.
Let's go back real quick to the fan belt, car number 23. He's just led by a couple Audis here. Those are teammates for Van de Waal Sim Racing. That's the Azul team that just went around, as did the Sim Racing car without the color. Now they're coming up on the back of this other Audi that's been damaged that we saw there of Martin's. Been a lot of traffic going on right now. These guys are running 5th and 2nd overall. And they get around that. Well done, but I think it's going to split up the two teammates.
For the moment, yes. And, well, looking at that Sonic Racing team, got to go fast. Well, at the moment, it's a little bit limping and wounded. And, well, Ricardo Martins will let them go very, very nicely there. Nicky Thiem getting through for Van de Waal Sim Racing there in 2nd position. So, you know, Senkowski has had some very good pace. And if they were on the same lap, that 1 lap difference certainly playing its role, probably 2 laps then, if he does make that move. But, you know, Van de Waal's got to keep going here. That Azul car's got to try and get back to the 18 here in this battle that's going on. Of course, they are on the same lap, but there is half a lap's worth of difference there. And, you know, actually, just look at this train here, just coming out of the Forest Elbow right now. You got the likes of the 68 Cameron Tanner there, Pure Motorsport, the 69, the Blackadder Motorsports car, Nicholas Skayet, and now they're catching Matt Bunn there of the CQR S line now. And, well, you can see behind that is the other CQR car then that sort of spearheads it there. That's Dan Kraft there in CQR Bandits. Here comes that driver of Nicholas Skayet then, looking to try and get it on Bunn. Will Bunn get out of the way? Oh, look at this dive down the inside. He'll get 1, and he'll try and slow it down. He gets 2. Oh, my word, that's a move.
Yeah, and Bunn right stuck there in the middle of it. No place to go. Man.
Wow. Now the other question here coming into this one is it unnecessary risk? Bunn struggling now, and Dan Kraft now will get a move. Here we're going to see some Kia switching as well through it. That driver of Skayat, and down the inside, Dan Kraft going to have none of it, almost onto the back there of Skayat. They're very lucky then that he didn't go in for a penny and out with a broken rib.
I got to give Matthew Bunn a lot of credit for not turning down in there on that one. The car came from 2 cars back. Sometimes you don't realize, you're looking at the car behind you, don't realize that the car that's one back behind him is making the move. He didn't turn down in on it. Nice job, Matthew.
Yeah, nice job of keeping them in the race and hanging on to the podium spot right now for that CQR S-Line team.
Our director's going to look at this. Now, look, you're looking at the car behind you, and you're thinking, okay, he's not going to make a move. I don't have to leave room here, no problem. Everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, that other one slips up on you, and that's where he leaves some space. Good job.
Very, very experienced driving from Matthew Bunn. He took a lot of credit from there, had a lot of trust there in terms of his pit crew there who were telling him exactly what was happening there, and he managed to get himself and avoid that situation. And that experienced driving, it keeps the cars on track, it keeps people from running themselves into the barriers, into the walls, and that sort of driving has to be praised, I have to say. It's very experienced driving there, and a lucky situation for one. The only other thing I can say about that incident, though, is would that be an unjustifiable risk and potentially a warning from stewards?
Well, yeah, or maybe not from the stewards, maybe from the captain on the pit box, though, right, Sean? That's where I consider it unjustifiable.
Yeah, well, it's certainly no reason to make your crew chief nervous. Man, it was so close between Setkowski and Bunn. Coming down to the chase. Yeah, let's look at this here. They were down Conrad straight, over the hill and down into the chase, and you'll see what happens here. We're on board with Matthew Bunn. Oh, boy.
Yeah, almost a case of spoiled icing, but he keeps it there on the road doing well. You can see down the inside, though, into turn number 1 as well. I'll get it to the punchline in a minute. That's Thiem there just getting through on Dan Kraft. Very well done. Well,
and Thiem, honestly, living very dangerously down into hell. Turn 1, Daniel Kraft got down on the inside of him, and those two almost in contact coming through turn 1.
Yeah, you can see that long camera shot there. Traffic is really picking up now as all the cars have gathered together. It's almost like a yellow flag has just ended and we're going green again. They are all bunched up, cars on all different agendas right now, different classes of cars, different speed. This is some negotiation that needs to be going on.
Yeah, that is going to be the worry here. Look how quickly they are closing up. Tanner now is being an absolute closing monster here. As you can see, Senkowski now looking to try and get it. McPhillamy Park slows down, brings another car back into it. Now looking at potentially Skyline. No, the block is thrown, so he's not confident enough to let them go in this situation. Now they've got to ride the mountain here down at Porsche pace. And you can see just how much more aerodynamic grip that those GT3 cars have compared to the Porsche. Wants to push it as much as he can, and at the moment he can't. Now the door is open. Get yourselves going right now. You can see here Vendaval working together very, very effectively.
Yeah, and Cameron Tanner doing a good job behind the wheel of that Porsche to not press the issue there coming out of Forest Elbow.
Let's go back to Bunn in the 6 car now as he's being overtaken by the Porsche there of Carl Jansen. They just keep coming, Matthew.
Yeah, and Jansen, one of those drivers, still fighting for a spot. Again, in that battle with his teammate there, the Blackadder Motorsports machine of Nicholas Seitz.
Yeah, and actually, look at Daniel Kraft again, though, because look at the train that's going to go through him as well. You got worldracing.info through Red Devil Scuderia. There, that prancing Red Devil. And then you got that damaged GTL. And there's Ian Ford then in that Evolution Racing Australia car through. And you can see just how much overspeed there is. Down on the brakes they go. And, well, you can see now Ford has now got to negotiate 2 cars here, which are pretty much in the same class as his. Not exactly what he wants to do, but something that he has to do.
And Kraft has had enough of that. He's going to bring it in.
I wouldn't blame him in this situation. He wants to get out of the traffic. He's probably looking at that thinking, track position is going to be key. Of course, you've got to remember the strategy of about 20 laps on the car. It's a very difficult one. You can only say that the car goes at max 45 minutes here, and the block was thrown a little bit, though, from Ian Ford, though, just ahead. The car ahead of him even throws the block a little bit ahead, and that's Villafañez then. And Ian Ford then gets himself through, but Dan Kraft, don't blame him in that situation. It's very, very difficult when you got cars motoring past you at Bathurst.
You know, a car we haven't really talked about much today. He's under attack right now. Oh boy, sorry guys, that was the number 89 there, the 8th place car, worldracing.info machine, Sirahai Pakhodnia. I think Pakhodnia.
That's it. There
Pakhodnia. There it is. Pakhodnia.
I practiced the 2 before I went there, but it doesn't matter, does it?
They've managed to stay in this race. They're up 6 spots. They're in 8th overall, 8th in class. Yeah, they got a little bit of damage on that Merc, but you know what? They're putting in the laps and find themselves really in a pretty decent spot. They do have Fag Spot chasing them about 38 seconds back, guys.
Yeah, Pablo, and right now on the number 666 car is Pablo Villafaña is behind him trying to make away his round.
Yeah, he's trying to find his way through.
Yeah.
It's not for position, which is the first thing that we need to work out, though. But it would be nice for him to get through. There's a 4-lap difference between them, 8th and 11th right now. Villafañez then will be looking to try and get himself in that tow. Might have an opportunity as he comes then down into the chase. You can see just how black the tarmac is then as they head themselves into the corner. Nothing going to happen between them right now. And just want to compare lap times right now. Last lap time for World Racing was a 2:13.5. Compare that to that Fag Sport car. It did a 2:05.4. That's 10 seconds almost in a lap. That's the difference between letting traffic through and not letting traffic through. So just want to compare lap times again then here, just with going on right now. And it was a 2:07.2 that time by for World Racing Info. This time by, let's just see what that 24 can do as he now comes through the chase.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only answer to those two Audis right now up there leading the field of the Vendaval Sim Racing is Evolution Racing Australia. Ian Ford sits now back, looks to be about 34 seconds from Nicky Thiem, but still on that lap with him. And that would be the only Merc contending right now. He's getting around another car. Just got around Ricardo Martins, sitting back there in 24th spot. But
the crucial thing here is he's a second lap quicker right now, and he needs to be a second lap quicker right now because he is running out of time. He's got about an hour and 20 minutes under, more like an hour 15, to try and make that position, to try and get himself second position away from Vendaval. But the problem with him even getting there, though, is, passing one thing, catching is one thing, passing is another. The other problem is, there's going to be a rear gunner there to help him when there is that situation. There will be a situation where that Azul car can effectively sacrifice itself, make life a little bit difficult for that Evolution Racing Australia 228 car, so that Vendaval Sim Racing can break away and get himself about 5 seconds.
Well, you know what, Jake, they're right up on the pit window here, and I'm wondering, is this the spot where you go for it and forego the tires?
I think 2 tires might be or no tires at all might be a good call. As you say, that Ford's going to come in, and if he thinks he can go to the end on this tire, he gets a big slide through the corner. Is there an unsafe entry to pit lane? That's the other question. If all 4 tires went off the road, then he is in a lot of trouble and may have to serve a penalty there, Sue.
That would be brutal for Ian Ford. He's had such a good run running 3rd overall right now.
Well, now the question is...
That's not a call. That's not a call that the race stewards will make. That'll be a call from the iRacing software.
Yeah, and if that was an unsafe entry, it's 15 seconds, I think it is.
Yeah, it would be 15 seconds if that were to be the case. And, that will hurt so much because that's an extra 15 seconds that you have to work out somewhere else. You may take that gamble. You may take that risk. But for Ian Ford, oh, dear me, if that has been something that hasn't worked out in his favour, then... you just got to feel for him because he was doing so well at pushing himself through that stage. He was 6th at the start of this broadcast. He worked himself up into the podium, and 2nd place wasn't too far away. Keep an eye on that time, Sean, because if that time is now 1:30 or maybe even 1:45, he is taking tyres as a crucial factor. That's going to really hurt and really sting the chance of second for a very good Evolution Racing Australia car.
Yeah, I'm watching him now here, just about 15 seconds away from driving off. And it does not appear there's been a penalty. They are off and away.
Thank
Looks
goodness
like they might have dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. And actually look at where he's just come out then, because look who's just behind. That is Sentowski and Thiem, then the 2 Vendaval cars going together down the line. Dan Croft is still then down on the lane as things stand right now. And mistakes like that can cost you, and you have to be very, very careful at this event, especially when that small error comes when you're heading towards the pit stop window. It's the time people think they can relax. Not in this game.
And that's why the drivers watch these broadcasts and yell at the commentators when we say, why are you in such a hurry? Well, every second matters. Even though you're up by a minute and a half over your competitor, you may need every second of that minute and a half if you make a mistake. So yeah, every second counts.
Certainly does, and well, you know, you're still seeing the battles that happen here out on circuit right now. It's just opening up then just that smidgen right now, just that little bit, then hour and 15 under, you know, we are seeing right now to the end of the race here. And well, Vendaval Sim Racing Right have been pretty much untouchable right now. Juan E. Lopez then behind the wheel of that one, trying to get that push. And, you know, we are in that situation where people can start to see the finish. And, you know, will the eyes be bigger than the mouth for Vendaval Sim Racing Right? They've got a 1-2 on the books right now, and they'll be hoping that they can get themselves 1-2-5. There's another question that could happen towards the end of the race, and that question will be, how many formation finishes will we see?
Yeah, maybe not on the same lap, but certainly they can. I would not be surprised to see those guys in the Kia, Sean, get together. They seem to have a nice team spirit going on. The CQR guys.
Yeah, they do. They do. They should get probably get the Team Spirit Award at the end of this event.
Actually, I do want to point out that here battle because that CQR Bandits car at 34 still hasn't left pit lane, which means that Bathurst 12-hour Kia now takes the lead of the Kia class.
It has indeed, and you know what? We missed that. Not sure, actually. The CQR Bandits car has actually been in the pit for now 7.5 minutes, and we were off talking about everything else. We missed what happened. I'm going to go back real quick here, guys.
It came of its own accord, which is one thing. And something to note about Daniel Kraft, you know, he only drove 3 laps of it in getting into pit road. So, you know, there has to be damage on that vehicle somewhere. He has to serve it. Now the question is, does he drop himself then down behind 3rd position? Because that S-Line car is only 3 laps away.
Sean,
you know?
I found it. It was a big one. The car actually rolled over. It's on. We're probably not going to be able to get far enough back. It's on their lap 267.
Oh, yeah.
The car
I
actually
just found it too soon.
Went in. The car took a slow roll
down through the S's. Yeah, they just come off the hill and Skyline and went straight into the wall. The car rolled over with several cars getting by, and that was so close. Actually, a couple of cars having to come to a complete stop. Marcus Costin and Daniel Kraft having to, Ricardo Marcus having to come to complete stops. I think our director
has found it. I think
he has. Oh, watch my word. Well, yeah, you can see now heads himself towards Skyline, and, well, he tries to get himself down onto the brakes. Does he just clip the wall on the inside then? Oh, my goodness, Mickey. Oh, no, that's a horrible place to have an incident.
He hit it hard, and it popped the car up and over. Lucky to get back up on his wheels, to be honest with you guys.
We'll go on board with this, and then maybe director one more time on an on-board from the 27 machine if you're able to do that. This is in the car here. Now,
I mean, even more than that, though, you know, we see the incident that happens right now. The question is, look how well everyone stops the car to make sure that Kraft can get himself the tow. He rolls the vehicle. He's done very well to just hold it there, but everyone else has been very akin to seeing that slow vehicle there. He's very lucky that that car is visible in that situation there, and if he wasn't visible in that situation, I believe that's Marcus Captain behind the wheel of the proper backfire racing car. That could have ended in even worse consequences and maybe a caution.
I think we're going to see it right here as he's coming. It's going to be blind as he comes around and he's able to slow it down. There it is. And he gets on the binders and oh my.
We should probably go back to live. Juan E. Lopez, our leader, overall leader and leader in class, having to fight through traffic right now. He just got around Bun in the chase.
He's had enough of it.
And now he's heading to the pit.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Yeah, well, Sean, I think he was thinking the same thing you were. Well, we don't need to do this one.
Lap 259 then, and the 68 machine, and that is Pure Motorsports gets itself a warning at the chase for a dive bomb. So a long time ago, a warning that's there. So it shows that even if you do try stuff, you know, it is going to come back up for you. And Mika Eshouse making sure of it, doing a good job in the steward's office right now. World Racing Info will get past proper backbar racing then, or will attempt to, heading up into the cutting, and we'll get that position sorted, and we'll make sure that lap car's out the way.
Now, Jake, I estimate there's something like 31, 32 laps left in this race, and our leader is in on a 31-lap stint. It's going to be really tough to stretch it to the checker.
Well, you have to feel that if there is a situation there as something drops off of my desk, you feel there's a situation where if he does underfuel the car, will he have that lap to sort of be his buffer? Will he just stop agonizingly close before the line? Will he have to take a tow and try and do that lap again? And that might be the problem here, Sean. You're looking to play a game with strategy. You feel that the Boffins have it right with the numbers back at home. And hopefully, you feel it will work for you. Fag Sport, though, Ben Green behind the wheel of 24, has Talk Freak Corkscrew just ahead. The difference in lap 7, but, the difference in speed, not that much.
Yeah, and obviously the better point, though, for the leader is they are a couple laps up. So, having to come in and take a splash to finish the race, probably not a big deal. Well, obviously not a big deal. But you still have to make the pit. You still have to bring the car back down pit lane one more time. Well, we keep talking about it in endurance racing. Obviously, anything can happen, so they have to stay clean.
Yeah, and you can't afford the unnecessary risk, though. You want to make sure that you're safe towards the end. You don't want to be in a position where, you are gambling and having to take down pit road again. We saw it with the Evolution Racing Australia car, just how difficult it is going down into that pit road. It's incredibly tight. It's incredibly difficult to get onto the brakes, and it's such a low speed going in. You could very much, in that low gearing, spin the car itself, trying to get itself slowed down. So, Soup, you're back with us. It's a very difficult thing, as we just see the 24 of Ben Green run a little bit wide at the chase.
Yeah, just bring it home, boys. Just bring it home. Hey, Sean, after that Kia rollover there, where do we stand now in that group?
Well, here's where we stand. We've got Pete Harrod and CQR Bathurst, 12 Hours Kia. They are now find themselves a 15th overall leader in class. CQR Bandits is now dropped back and 3 laps behind, find themselves in second. And then we got to go back to third in class. CQRS line, Matthew Bunn still in the car, but he still has several laps to make up now. Only 2 laps to make up on CQR Bandits and Daniel Kraft. So, certainly there's a chance there to get that second spot on the podium there for Matthew Bunn, but they're going to need a little bit of help. In fourth, Lucas Dolzer is still in the car for SimRC.de Asia Tech. And they are, like I said, still on track, about halfway through a stint. And that leaves 4 Kias still on track here for us.
And the Bandit car was the one that Kraft is driving that actually did the roll, correct?
Yeah, it was Dan Kraft's car.
Yes,
they were leading.
Yes, Daniel Kraft.
So they had to take that tow, because unless they drove it back, I didn't see.
Sorry, straight on there, down at Skyline there was the driver of Jake Robson at Talk Freak Racing Corkscrew, was trying to get past there, the driver in the 26 of the Spirit of Le Mans car in Jonathan Fuller. That one could have ended so much worse.
The rookie, just to follow up on this, we'll watch this replay here. Yes, this could have been a disaster.
Here on replay then, heading himself then towards the corner of Skyline. It was just a case of trying to turn in, snap of oversteer, says no thank you very much, and he manages to hold on to it just, but that will incur slowdown, which he will be able to take quite effectively in terms of slowing that car right down in terms of going down the hill.
I'll be happy to take the slow bend penalty. That's a penalty I'm happy to pay. Just to get back to that CQR, how fortunate, Sean, that car actually rolled over. They were able to drive that back, I think, rather than have to take a tow.
Yeah, they had to drive it back. So they were driving it back with a meatball hanging there in the top left of their screen for sure.
That saved them a ton of time, because the tow would have taken a long time from there on Bathurst. Yeah.
Trying to get that pickup truck up the top of the mountain, back down again with a Kia behind it as well. You have to feel it would have taken a bit of time. There would be a bit of frustration then, throwing away the lead like that. Nobody wants to do it, but to your teammates, that's the worst possible feeling, surely.
Well, I guess it's good news they weren't running nose to tail. See, that's the disadvantage when you're racing together like that. You can get the whole team caught up in an incident.
Yeah, and certainly don't want to do that. I mean, talk about iRacing World Championships 2016. It happened with all three Redline drivers in the forms of Hutu, Pakala, and Alexius Giacola at Interlagos. So, it's not akin to happening here, especially in sim racing. And, well, it definitely can happen. And he's got to be fortunate that it didn't happen in the end. So, there is a lot of things going on. MTMlimits.BESRT, the 18, is in for Bruce Cornelis, making a stop then here as he looks to try and make his final stop before the end of the race here, Soup.
As they come in, currently running 4th overall, they have seen their fair share of excitement. Just going to report on the Porsche leaders right now. Team Superbest, they're out in front by 1:09 over De Volante. Still in the hunt if a yellow were to come out. And actually, when you let's take that rollover one more time. They would have thrown the yellow flag if that Kia didn't do a nice somersault. Apparently, they built that so it's like a Weeble, so that it lands on its feet.
Good point. That and that's the closest we've probably been to any potential caution coming out since we went live.
Car off, and that is the Talk Freak Radeon car there. That's David Barraclough at Murray's, and he went straight on then towards the final corner, and it's just a continuation of coming out of the chase. He just gets on the grass a little bit, and I think the tyres were a little bit dirty, maybe clipped the grass on the outside coming into the corner, went straight across, and well, very nicely parked there in the gravel outside of Murray's.
Another car getting its fair share of excitement.
Yeah, they just see him going around on the replay right through the turn and off. Just missed. It looked like he just missed the braking zone there, Jake.
Yeah.
Or maybe, on the replay here, maybe just clipped the grass a little bit. Just a little wide. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Even the smallest blade can turn you around, especially around this circuit. The sun sometimes grows in different directions, so especially during a 12-hour race, you'll see actually the grain of the grass change its direction as it looks to point to the sun. So sometimes you can get away with it in certain scenarios, but in other scenarios where the grain's different, you will actually find yourself losing it. And that is something that does happen from time to time, but it's so subtle that nobody ever thinks to think about it.
You are really gone into the depths of...
Contact the track between the 5 car of Juha Pakalami and David Barraclough getting together there at the top of Skyline. Just before getting down the hill, those two get together. And everybody's okay, but...
And actually, Juha Pakalami's quite new to that team as well, if memory serves me correct. I believe he used to be part of the core sim racing setup, so from core to Vendaval, Juha Pakalami gets very, very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky indeed. Here they go, coming together on screen. Barraclough just closes the door on them there as they were heading through the heading downhill there, through the S's.
Ooh, boy, and actually,
And again, we see that 381 car involved in something, guys.
It seems that the banging and beating post of this on the 381, it just seems that he just wants a love tap from everyone. So, it doesn't end the best for some, but, if a cat has 9 lives, how many does that 381 have? I have absolutely no idea, Sue.
Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of the red mist, and then another time that can get you is just a matter of losing your rhythm. Sometimes it just seems like one event after another, they keep coming at you. Take a deep breath, try to settle down, and see if you can just stay out of trouble for a while. You'll be okay.
Okay, guys, now an update here in the GT3s. Ian Ford and Evolution Racing Australia just passed the pitting car of Vendaval Sim Racing. Nicky Thim still in the seat. And, you know what, guys? That's a long pit stop. They're in there for a while. Let me try and see what happened there with the 138.
Boy, he's still in there, yeah, Sean.
Yeah, they're over 2 minutes now. Something's rotten in Bathurst here. Let's find out.
Yeah, we're all just trying to look back and try and find it. He did come in of his own volition, which is something to note here in this one. But the question is, has there been any other contact in that lap? No, so maybe it's outlasting damage then that he's trying to do. He's back out on track then. Tatsuro Hashimoto behind the wheel. But what that will do, it will allow Evolution Racing Australia to come right back into the fight then, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe he wants to stay in long enough till the grass bends the other direction, maybe.
Maybe so.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking exactly what Jake just said, and that is maybe getting some outstanding damage taken care of on the car is very possible, because it does look like Evolution Racing Australia is going to have to pit again. They're, about 42 seconds up the road here after that pit stop for Vendaval Sim Racing. So could be a little bit of a gamble going on, knowing that they had to pit up in front of them.
At the same point, you can see, though, he did come back in, though. He has made a stop on lap 291. He was trying to play the game of risk here, trying to get himself to the end of those tyres, and he's really looking to try and get things right now. And Soup, it's the big story developing here as we head to the final hour. This battle for second, Vendaval might have just made the small mistake, Evolution Racing Australia, playing the tactic card.
What we'll do here on the Global Sim Racing channel is take another short break, then we'll be back to go all the way to the checkered flag. Don't go far. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back to Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Team Buschfink Racing's 12 Hours of Bathurst. Hey, we had a little incident while we were away. This involved Nicholas Skeets in the number 69 machine. He got kind of what I'm going to call turned by Jake Robinson in the Torque Freak Racing's corkscrew car. We're going to look if we can find it. Here it is. I don't know any other way to say this than the guy just got into him and put him in the wall. Ouch.
We just had a penalty come in. A stop and go for avoidable contact there for that 81. So Jake Robson.
Yeah.
Oh, naughty boy there.
Now we had another incident. It's David Bearclaws, his lap number 274.
It was coming up in through up the mountain actually, and he was coming in through the left-hander there that comes after the two rights after the cutting, and he just lost it on his own volition there. He just managed to clip the wall, and that's going to be a hefty repair bill.
Yeah, it is going to be a hefty repair bill. That car's still in the pit now, 2.5 minutes, but you're going to see him here hit really, really hard when he loses it.
Thank God he's got a neck brace in that vehicle.
Yeah, he certainly is. He certainly has got his money's worth of excitement. Ouch.
Wow. I mean, you know, it's all happened on the hour when we go away. Just literally everything of everyone driving clean and driving perfect, and then the moment we go to brake, two cars decide, right, it's time to hit the wall. Nobody is watching us again, and there's another car in the wall actually, and that is Matthias Dettiger there of the Spirit Sim Racing team. They were 7th in class, and they got to turn it around, and there's no hood on the vehicle.
It loses it in the cutting there, coming off and up into the wall. Several cars having to get by there. Cameron Tanner and Pablo Villafañez doing a good job of getting by.
Takes a tow. So that is going to potentially promote the likes of Fag Sport there, World Racing Info, Red Devil Scuderia might come back into this then, because that was a hefty hit there down at the cutting. So understated, because, you know, it leans into the corner, but it's just got so much of a potential to spit you out that people take it for granted.
Maybe a little bit of fatigue starting to creep into these teams.
Now, what we didn't see in any of those incidents was a yellow flag. I'm not exactly sure what it takes to bring out of yellow. We had a couple guys take a tow. I guess
a
just the clogged track, huh?
Yeah.
A clogged track, a parking lot, a meteor strike. Well, we don't quite know, but we'll find something, surely, maybe.
Flooding. Yes, a landing of aliens, possibly, Bill.
It's coming in the next build, boys, I'm telling you.
Well, we can still see here just how everyone's been pushing here, and well, you know, a few cars get into a few more scrapes. We still have, though, this battle going on between the 138 of Vendaval and the 228 of Evolution Racing Australia. The difference between them on track is half a lap right now, as things stand correctly. Ian Ford behind the ERA car then, and they're playing the strategy game right now here, Sean, and they went pretty early on their stop. They're looking for 1:20 on the tank. Normally you see an hour on the tank to an hour 15, an hour 20. Surely they've got to stop again, surely.
Well, surely you would think so. I don't know where you stash the fuel on these things. If one of the McLarens has decided to show up, I can tell you where you stash it on that one. But I don't know. That's going to be a tough call.
Tough call, but Skayat is out of pit road. Well, getting out of pit road. He now gets the release. You can't go straight away because those cones on the outside, they will mark you an unsafe pit exit, though. You have to take it very safely. It's pretty much like rejoining the Autobahn once again, or rejoining the motorway or the highway or the freeway or whatever way you can try and do it. My way or the highway. Skayat's back out and away, and it seems not too much came off that, though. They still find themselves in position 14 right now, Sue.
And you can see them right now as we look at Nicholas brought that car back out. Going up the hill right now. Things are settling down. I think we had a little bit of a hectic section right there, but I think we're back to racing now.
Oh, there is a position change, but there is a lot of battling going on. Carly Janssen then in the Blackadder Motorsport 68 under a lot of pressure there behind him is that 81, that Talk Freak Racing Corkscrew. I feel that they're appealing this decision. They haven't come in yet. They have a penalty that they need to serve. They were in position number 5 at the time. They might allow Vendaval Azul to come back in, or Athul, as I should say. And you know what? That Porsche's not giving up, but in the end, he has to as he gets a little bit twisty and shaky. And then behind him then will be that car there of that GTL VRT Silver then. And you know what? That Talk Freak stays out another lap.
Looking at the back behind the number 10 car being overtaken now by the 97.
Okay, guys, Team Superbest coming in the pits. Johan Vanderbilt bringing her down the pit lane. That is the leader in class for the 911s.
And it should be the final stop as well for that Superbest team. I don't expect them to come through any further. Johan van den Belde then will be looking to try and hold on to it. Will there be a final driver change then between Van der Belde or not? You know, that driver change, you know, it takes a little bit out of you, so you need to make sure that you are making the time best. I don't think he is here in this situation, so Van der Belde to the end and has been piloting that car absolutely flawlessly so far this evening.
Yeah, once he came in for Liam Quinn, it's been going very well. Or it might have been actually in for Bream. I think Bream was after Quinn.
Yeah, Vincent Bream was in that car last, but the guy who's chasing him right now is Jefferson Padavani. Now they're a lap down and coming around now into Murray, and it looks like Vanderbilt is out and away.
Yeah, Vanderbilt able to do that pit stop and still not lose the position. Am I correct on that? Yeah, he was. Yeah, so the Del Volante team still needs to make that final stop.
Yeah, they do, and actually, they're not a lap down. They are now about 20 seconds back, but they still have to pit.
Got to give a shout out to Team Superbest for naming the team after me. I appreciate that.
Well, that would make me Team Super Third Best, as that would make Sean Team Super Second Best.
I'll take it. I'll take that.
Worries, and well, that Club de Volante, then these bandit hunters can't find anything right now. You can see just Apex there down at the cutting, lucky not to clip the wall, Padavani. And, you know, there is 7 laps they have to play with if they do run into an incident, but, you know, you don't want to be spending the final hour and a quarter of it down on the lane, no siree.
Let's look at car number 18 right now running forth. That's the MTM machine. I think they've just got around Charlie Fagg here, I believe so.
Battle going on, and it is for position here because Vendaval Azul there. Sorry to cut you off like that. Talk Freak have just served their penalty, and they're going to be side by side. Then battle going on for 5th position out on circuit here. Talk Freak will take the defensive line, and Juha Pekalami, very experienced, needs to find the magic way through. At the moment, not happened just yet.
And Ian Ford right back there in that popcorn position there, Soup, with a front row ticket to the show in front of him.
Yeah, now Robson has had his issues since he's been out, so while they're running, you know, battle for position right now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're on equal playing field right now. Robson began to distance himself a little bit. I mean, Sim Racing Azul right in there also. My gosh, this is good. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, certainly. What you have to remember is he will be on new tyres as well. So he's got tyres, he's got fuel, and he's probably fueled that up to perfection then to get himself home. But what they both have to be a little bit wary of is that Evolution Racing Australia car in second going deep into the corner of the Forest Elbow will have himself in a situation where he needs to try and get past these cars if he is wanting to keep himself in the situation that he wants to right now. Vendaval Sim Racing is there. Alternatively, Ian Ford can just try and hop in behind and hope that it works here. Juha Pekalami has the toe, but will he have the tenacity to make a move? He's not close enough this time and will back out of it. So, you know, Sean, where would you want to be in this situation if you're Ian Ford?
Boy, I think I'd rather be ahead of these guys, to be honest. Oh, and that's going to solve part of the problem because Robson's in the pit.
Well, that's the second time in 2 laps, so maybe Robson's been caught speeding in pit lane, on pit lane, out pit lane. It's very, very possible, and it's probably out of pit lane, being a little bit too eager that he's done that. It's not often that you see a car come in twice in a row, so Jake Robson, oh, you gotta feel for the man. It hasn't worked out the way that he would have liked.
Tough break indeed, Jake. Only time will tell exactly what that was.
Also, the first stop was to serve a penalty. Maybe this is the legitimate pit stop. Maybe he wasn't allowed to do to have service done.
Maybe, but you know,
that could be possible.
You are in that place where, you know, Robson might be trying to do that. Maybe he was trying to make the best out of a bad situation. But in the end, it won't really matter here. It's a very, very long hold. So you have to feel this is the pit stop then. That is happening right there. So Soup got it on the button then. And you know what? I'm going to fold.
Well, Ford gets around Juha Pakilama there and secures. Now they're going to get around the Kia. Maximilian Scheider.
Oh, caution. Where has that happened then? And it's Sonic Racing Team.
Car number 197.
Yeah, it's a massive instant down at the chase, is it? Yeah, it's down at the chicane. Yep. He couldn't get it there sorted around. And you can see here, let's just get it on the replay. He turns it around down at the corner. He gets himself turned around and he can't get it sorted because he is literally slap bang pancake next to the wall. No opportunity to turn around and he's blind trying to get it turned around again.
Yeah, he had the car against the wall. Then when he started to do his wide turn, that's where things went sour.
What it does do.
And then there was a car behind up on the hill. Maximilian Scheider got it. He was checking up when that yellow, but he was coming out of Skyline, the top of the hill, getting ready to descend, and that car got turned around.
But what a time for a caution here, because now the clock ticks down. It's 40 minutes to go, and from 3rd place now to 6th, pretty much now, lifeline for Torque Freak, who had to do that second stop, they're straight back in it again. That penalty has done them next to, well, no good, but the caution has done them a lot of favours. Now we got 4 cars on the lead lap who could potentially be next to each other with about half an hour's worth of racing here.
And the same for Club do Volante, who's got to be happy about that. Team Superbest, certainly not great. In fact, Superbest had just made that stop. I don't think Volante had even made their stop yet. So that's going to play out perfect for them.
Well, they've both made their stop then under that situation. So everyone now is going to be waiting for that pace car to get themselves around. And, well, the question is, that pace car, where is that right now? The answer is it's just on that mountain straight right now. And Vendaval White has caught it. Matt Bunn is next there. So Matt Bunn there. We got Bunn and Baker then in terms of the CQR team. So, you know, there's an affinity with Brett there in the CQR line. And, well, now it's a case of who closes next and who puts themselves in the magic number, the magic situation to move themselves forward into this race.
Well, that's really going to make things interesting now. I was beginning to wonder if we'd actually get a caution. I thought we might make it through without, and a little late race drama there up on the mountain. Again, kind of surprised we hadn't seen that already, but little misfortune there, and car stuck up on track, and there we go.
There we go. Well, the thing for Vendaval Sim Racing White is they're going to be at the front of the field. They're not going to have that worry. Evolution Racing Australia, who's in 2nd position, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here because they will have to navigate the traffic, which is always going to be a bit of an issue here. The pace car is up on top of the mountain. The last car then is Maximilian Scheider then on the back of the field for SimRC.de Asia Tech right now, who will have to get through. And you can see a car pulling off then, and that is Jefferson Padavani there, just trying to get out of the way. And, well, you know, everyone is trying to make everything work in this situation. And Sue, I'm going to come to you. Who does this? This is a difficult one here. Everyone needs to get back on. If everything's cleared, I think the pace car might come in this lap. I'm not too sure. Let's look at the lights.
Yeah, they try to hustle.
The lights are still on right now.
Could be one more.
could be one more, and that is going to be crucial here in terms of this one here. And I'm sure the man behind the pace car has been pretty bored sitting there for about 3 hours. Maybe was looking for a little bit of early morning lunch and didn't quite get it. Had to quickly jump in the car and get out going again. But, that Porsche safety car will be looking to try and do everything right now in this situation as he goes a little bit wayward then, shall we say.
Yeah,
Has a bit of an exploration, shall we say.
I think the safety car driver's been off at the pub. To be honest with you. Let's pick that up on replay. Just a little
ouch.
wide. Oh.
Well,
Well, that's going to leave a bruise in the morning.
Who put Yazik in the car? Is that Brian Yazik in the car?
Well, let's say that DUIs don't normally happen on the race circuit, but, we could potentially do one here, maybe not.
the car we might want to keep an eye on is the 111 of Jefferson Padovani, racing for Club de Volante. This is in the Porsche class. He's going to be in second spot. He's going to be on the same lap behind Superbest, but there's going to be, maybe a dozen cars between him and the leader, so he's got some work to do to get there in the next 37 minutes.
Well, yes.
Now, guys, the
I'll
pit
keep
lane
that.
will be closed here.
Yeah, the pit lane will be closed, which is going to be a key factor. Nobody can come in and try and play that strategy call. So that's going to be something that is going to be playing in the driver's mind. With pit lane closed, here, it leaves a situation. Everyone to work everything out right now. Who where and how everyone can play this game.
Yeah, listening to Race Control talk about getting the guys organized, set up. Some of these guys, the pit is closed, so it hasn't been open for the regular pit stops yet, right? So a lot of these guys still need to come in I guess not. I guess I'm incorrect on that. Volante has been in.
I think rounds now.
Lucky Dog Boozer there in Matt Bunn. They're doing a very good job of things right now. So, everyone now has to play that game. Everyone needs to know for a little bit here, looking to try and work down. It's going to be difficult here in this situation.
Just checking in here. I guess we lost Jake. I wasn't sure if we had lost Jake or if we lost me. Apparently, I am still good. So now the drivers are getting the wave around right now.
Yeah, everybody being waved through right now, Soup.
They're trying to organize. Some of the cars they're saying, get to the right, get to the left. Let's get this organized set up here for this final 35 minutes. And again, I'm looking here at the drivers who have taken pit stops. Sean, I guess we're thinking everybody can go the distance, even those GT3s. They have 14 laps under them. They have enough to get there, you think? Yeah, I would think they were good to go.
Yeah, with the long caution session now, we're good on fuel. You don't have to come in. I'd be shocked if anybody gives up position right now to get in.
The one team that did have to make a pit stop under yellow was, of course, Club de Volante. They had waited. We talked about Superbest coming in under green. Really they weren't able to get the position back, but they were able to come and get their stop. So they're currently racing. Now look at this. Have they lined oh my goodness. No, I thought they had lined them up in order.
Well,
and that's not the case, no.
Well, that would have been something quite interesting there in that situation. Maybe it could have worked then for everyone moving forward. But right now, everyone is trying to play a game here where they're behind caution, though. They don't know how long it's going to be. They're going to hope that it's not going to be forever. And it's a time to cool down. And, at such a late stage in this race, who's going to be off the boil? Will it cause more mistakes here? I mean, you look at Santeri Kaikkonen then at the front of the field, he can't be thinking that this is what he wants, because you're in the groove, you're in the rhythm. It's now disrupted, and that puts a lot of pressure on Kaikkonen actually moving forward into the race.
And just to follow up on the story that I've been following, we talk about the 111 car again not making their pit stop under green. Actually, I think that played to their disadvantage, because what that forced them to do is make the stop under yellow and has put them at the back of the line. I think if they would have made that stop under green, they probably would have been better off. They wouldn't have quite so many cars between them and the guy they're trying to chase of Team Superbest. Of course, there is no battle in the Kias. They are all separated by 2 laps. Yeah, 2 laps each for the CQR guys.
Yeah, CQR Bathurst 12 Hours team. Pete Harrod still behind the wheel. Soup, they are 2 laps up on CQR Bandits and Daniel Kraft after suffering that damage they had from that rollover. But they've got a pit, Soup. CQR Bathurst 12 Hours still has to come in.
Oh, if I were them,
Pits are open. Race leaders in. Yeah, that's the race leader of Vendaval Sim Racing White. They're coming in. Pete Harrod, the CQR Bathurst leader of the Kias, is coming in. A few will come in. Red Devil Scuderia will come in. So now it's a case of who is going to come in. And look at this then coming into pit road. That's Ian Ford in the Evolution Racing Australia car. And that is something right now, because you look at this here for Ian Ford, that might be a mission that he wasn't going to make it on fuel.
Might be there, yeah, Jake. And in my estimation, it still would have been very, very, very close. I think there were just too many laps left, and that was probably a good call for them. Better safe than finishing it at the end of the pack.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, well, the next question that comes into effect out of this then is the look about who is going to get the wave around then in terms of this. Well, the wave around has now gone to Ruslan Bayramkulov there, if I can pronounce that name then, trying well. A wave around for Hashimoto as well. He'll get himself then to get away as well. So now the question is, will everyone be waved around in this situation? As you can see right now, just siding his way back through, Kaikkonen needs to get to the front of the pack maybe.
See, now this is where...
Now Ford...
Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, Ford is out of the pit. With Hashimoto getting that wave around, Ford will start in front of Hashimoto, obviously, but those two are going to be battling for that spot, and so will Fabrice Cornelius for MTM Limits .B SRT.
Now, the car right behind the pace car right now is Vanderbilt for Team Superbest. I'm thinking he doesn't get the race. He's a leader in the class. That's where it's going to stop right there, I would assume.
Well, there is a level of confusion then from us in the commentary box. Maybe we need a little bit of clarification from those in the know, but, you know, it does make sense that Johan van der Velde will be able to take the start in this situation because he is leading a class right now. The only other option would have been for that 12-hour Kia that also came in of Pete Harrod maybe to take the start. Cornelis is in a little bit of trouble right now. He will be effectively a lap down on this battle for second and third right now because Hashimoto's had the runaround, so Cornelis is stuck here. He can't do anything. He's stuck in fourth position, and he's got to worry more about that Vendavala soon, Azul even, I should say, and also that Torque Freak corkscrew that might pop up out of nowhere, which had a little bit of good luck.
Looking in the line to see when we get up to our first Kia. It looks like it's a little ways back before we get to one.
Well, Pete Harrod's gonna have that lead still there for CQR Bathurst. They came in, they got their pit stop. They're good to the end. Remember, there's still 2 laps up on the CQR Bandits team with Daniel Kraft behind the wheel.
Right, but right now I'm thinking not so much as this a matter of traffic and when you're going to catch guys, when those Kias are going to get caught in this. Because basically what we have right now is a race start with all the classes intermixed together, unless they're going to sort them out.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. We do see it from time to time, but normally we do see it with the Vendaval White car here. The leader of the class take the pit straight. I wouldn't be surprised to see if everyone gets the wave around, but it does make sense to just make it go from what they've got right now. They've already waved around 3-4 cars looking to try and get through. The leader came in a little bit unexpected, though. It does have to be said, and maybe he couldn't make it to the end on his fuel stop. We just wanted to be completely and utterly safe on that one. And, you know, the pit lane is open. Cars can come down in. Cars can pit. Cars did pit last time. Cars can pit again, if my memory does serve me correct. And I believe we'll be going for at least one more lap around in this situation, because just looking at the pace car, there are still lights upon it here as the long waiting game continues. What it will do, though, it runs the clock down, which, you know, it helps quite a few drivers in this situation. It hinders quite a few others because, you know, you've got a lot less time to be playing with right now. And in terms of this race, you know, it's now half an hour that we're playing with. Another car gets waved around in Prejmek Banshik there. And I think quite a few people are now going to get the wave around here as we all try and get it a little bit sorted out together right now.
Yeah, the Fabrice Cornelius just got waved around. Pace
car as well, so it might be this time by we go.
What I think they're going to do, my guess is they're going to wave around all the cars that are ahead of the leader, ahead of the class leader, I would think, would the way they would do it. So I don't think you're going to see, my guess is you're not going to see any wave arounds from the Porsches because your leader is already behind there. So I think any GT3s that are on the track ahead of your overall leader of Van der Waal Racing White would get the wave around. I could be wrong on this, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
It's difficult to work out, and well, you know, it does happen, and well, sometimes you need to look out at the rule book to see just how everything will work. I'm going to just look at the rules for you in a minute and try and work this one out from here, boys.
Yeah, I think I've got this. So right now the leader in classes, you're going to have the leader in classes are going to be at the head of the line. So that's why you have Team Superbest out in front behind the pace car right now, because he's leading in the Porsches. Any Porsche in front of him would get the wave around, but there aren't any. Then I think your next GT3 car is going to be your leader. That's Van der Waal Sim Racing White, and that's Santeri. I'm going to take a shot at Kinkonen, then Kekkonen, okay? Kekkonen. So he's the leader in that any GT3s in front of him get the wave around. Anybody else is stuck behind. And then you go back to your Kia. Any Kias that were ahead of the leader got the wave around as well.
Well, that certainly sorts out our little issue right now.
I think that's what's going on.
Well, thinking is one thing, knowing's another. Car will get another wave around in Jake Robson then, so he'll get himself then back onto the lap that he needs right now. They're heading themselves down Skyline as things stand right now. Pace lights are off on the car still, I do believe. And if that is to be the case in this situation, what it is, I believe here we're going to go green this time by.
Yeah, because right now, hustling around, they kept CQR Bathurst, that leader of the Kias, around, and hustling their way around right now are the other Kias that were ahead of them. Those guys are flying, trying to make it up this 4 miles. They'll have a hard time to get there.
Boy, that pace car driver's having a hard time. He's struggling, man. I'm worried.
He certainly is. And well, something else that needs to be worried about is if these Kia drivers are having to race racing laps to try and get back onto the back, what is the chance of them making a mistake just trying to catch up to the back of the pack, you know? Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's something else that needs to worry about. I'm pretty sure we're going to be going green this time by, so that's going to be one of the big worries then going forward is anyone really going to be affected here by this? The caution has gone again, so we will have another wave around here of caution. So, you know, a long caution period, people will get frustrated in this situation. When we get back to green, I think everyone might be just a little bit tetchy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jake.
Here's the guy who really benefited from all this. Again, it's the 111 car of Jefferson Padovani. Remember, there was probably 15 cars between him and the leader in class, which was Johan Vanderbilt up there in the number 23. Well, right now, what they've done, they've frozen that 23 car. Vanderbilt, he's right behind the pace car, but all the other cars that were between them that were ahead of the class leader got a wave around. So that put the 111 now only 3 cars between him and the guy he's chasing.
3 cars, though, is still 3 cars you need to navigate in this situation. And Sean, when you do get locked up here in these cautions, you do get a little bit crackers, you could say at times. Another car coming in is that Pure Motorsport car. Cameron Dance will be looking to get a lap or 2 of fuel. You can see here, just they want everyone onto the back of this one. They don't want to have is stagnant. You can see, just look at Scheider and Bum. They're bum drafting each other, trying to get back to the car. This is insane we're seeing right now. Everyone is just doing everything they can. It's ridiculous.
Really, really running the risk of something bad happening there. Really, boy, you'd hate to see it happen here with just less than 25 minutes to go.
And if I am, let's go ahead and we're watching those guys hustle around. There's a car out here, Marcus Caston, racing in the number 27 machine. Now, this is just me, but I'm 51 laps down. I really don't belong. I'm not in a battle anywhere. And I'm going to be right third in line. This might be a good time to pull over and let the cars go around you or take a pit stop, but it gets a little late to do that. Go through pit lane, get out of the mix. I don't know why you'd want, personally, I don't know why I wouldn't want to be there right now.
Nor would I in that situation. It's difficult to deal with, but that's the draw you're given. You try and work it out and use the pace that you've got in that situation. It's nice to see that quite a few drivers are going to be getting onto the back now. Maybe that's going to be the key. Lammy comes back in again then to try and serve himself a little bit of time. But I believe at this moment, everyone will be then back together again and hopefully get some green flag action for the last 20 minutes.
So here's what we're looking at as they work their way up the hill right now. The first car in line behind the pace car when it comes in is going to be the leader of your Porsches. That's Johan Vanderbilt racing for Team Superbest. Now behind him we have a couple back markers. The number 26 machine, he's fifth in class right now, several laps behind. That's for Spirit of Le Mans. That is Jonathan Boutel. He's going to have to get out of the way. Then the guy we talked about then, Santeri Konkonen. I messed that one up again there, racing for... what team is he racing for? He's racing for... Oh, no, that's your leader. Sorry. That's our leader. Sorry. So that's running in third position right now. Then we get back to Marcus Caston, who needs to get out of the way. And that gets you back to Jefferson Padovani, racing in the 111 machine.
Certainly very star-studded and stacked field right now. You can see the gap then between the drivers of Nicholas Skertz then and Padovani there of the Club du Volante there. The Bandit Hunter will be looking to try, the Bandit Hunter team even, will be looking to try and close down. This is going to be tough though. We are seeing here that there is a few cars between all those battles in second, third, fourth, fifth in your GT3, that battle for the lead. That is going to be such a crucial battle. Everyone will want to be playing that game. Everyone will want to be fighting, and they've got to deal with traffic in that situation. It's about who navigates it best, and they've not got much time to do it. So now people are taking more risks than they ever thought they would be if that caution hadn't have come out there soon.
So a 5-car battle for second in the GT3s, a 2-car battle for the lead in the Porsches, and then the Kias are pretty much all squared away and set up right now, unless anybody rolls one of those again.
Yeah, pretty much, Soup. But the leader, Pete Herod, going to have to start in bit of a hornet's nest here. He's got a Merc behind him and a Porsche in front of him.
This isn't going to be pretty, boys. This is not going to be pretty.
As far as things are concerned right now, the pace lights are off, and as things stand, unless they call another caution lap, we could be going green here in this situation. Just watch out for the pace car here, Soup. It might come in.
And it does. That's going to turn it over to Johan Vanderbilt in the Porsche. Working away around the final corner. And he's on the gas, and here we go. GT3 leader running back third in line right now as they work their way through the first corner. 20-minute sprint race, boys. For the
all happening, and you look at Ford now. Ford just tried to send one down the inside of Padovani. He will second versus second, 2 different classes. Now watch these guys. Now watch these GT3s take a massive chunk out of everyone in this situation as they look to get through the field. Watch out for Juha-Pekka Lammy now as he looks to chase down Jake Robson.
Vanderbilt still out in front, but about to surrender the lead to the GT3. Nope, he's not going to be able to get it done until they start up the hill, so this is going to be interesting. Of course, the GT3 leader has a lap to play with, so he can be a little more patient than the other GT3s that are back behind battling for position.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be the case. Then Cornelis then looking to try and get himself a little bit of a breakaway though. But that battle between 5th and 6th certainly hotting up. Pekka Lamy all over the back now. Robson needs to get through the traffic. That GTL VRT silver car is a little bit damaged and worse for wear. Needs to get through. Sonic Racing Team then as well they'll have to deal with here. And through the traffic then they bunch up and maybe Lamy needs to just find a magic way through. They're going to check up and try and go 3 wide down in. Oh my word, this is scary. And straight on goes one of the vehicles. And this is very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
3 wide, they're trying down here. And Lamy's going to get the position.
It was Tatij that went straight through, and it's Herod, the Kia, stuck in all the middle of that, trying to hang on to his first place.
Oh, Lamy turn around. Oh my word. Lamy turn around then on the mountain. It's going to block the straight, and we might see another caution call. No, we're not. Oh my word, Lamy. And that's 5th place gone, surely.
Oh, boy. Let's look at that on the replay, but it looks like Lamy, did he lock him up, or a little bit of contact, I think, maybe.
Working his way around, yeah, and just might even been.
Oh, there's another car turned around as well. That's Charlie Fag of Fag Sport there down at the chase, so it's all kicking off. Car having to go in avoidance again. Don't tell me it's the same vehicle going away. It is. It's the Tidge of Spirit Racing then that has to get out of the way. 2nd time in a lap.
Fag is around, and Tatij has to go through. But Charlie going to get the car righted and back on track. On the replay here, coming up Conrad, down into the chase. Charlie going to get in trouble down here. I don't think he gets any help. Man, no, he just loses it by himself there.
Yeah, he does, and well, the stewards will have something to look at with the Lamy incident, but right now there are a couple of battles going on. What about the battle going on then in terms of Porsches right now? Because you got Vandenbeld out and away, but you know, not too far behind in terms of this event though is that Club de Volante there, Padovani. He is got him in the sight, and the sight is about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. It's not over and done with, Soup.
Dave, as far as that, I think it's down to almost 1.2 right now, and all the cars are clear. There is nobody between him and the guy he's taken, Vandeveld and Padovani, going after each other. Now Ford in 2nd place in the GT3 has a nice cushion, about 9 seconds back to the next car behind him. And that's that Vanderbilt car.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Matthias Tatij having a lot of trouble, guys, just in Skyline. He had to run off again.
The problem that Tatij's got, though, is that the more he makes mistakes and the more that tail gets a little bit happy, you know, the tougher it is to save the car again and again. The rears light up. And the more that he has to do that, the worse his tyres get. He had to run off wide at the chase last time. Fortunately, he won't be in a situation to do that again. But, oh my word, isn't this going to be a grandstand finish then to this one right now, as Vanderbilt will soon have to let through Tatsuro Hashimoto of Vendaval Sim Racing, 3rd in class right now.
Yeah, Hashimoto just got around Padovani, so that backed him up a little bit. Padovani doing his best to catch the cars while still letting the traffic go around. Now this is where Vanderbilt is going to suffer some pace, and look at that as he totally has to surrender the apex of that corner. This is of all the corners to have a bad exit on, that would be the worst one right now. That's going to open the door for Padovani to get a good run down the straight.
Yeah, it certainly is, and now the question is, will there be any form of catching from Padovani, because Cornelis is there as well. Don't forget, he does hold up Hashimoto as well. Cornelis might have a look to the inside now. Cornelis will try and get held up out of the way. There goes Padovani, and now the question is, how far out of the way will Vanderbilt get then as they head into the cutting? And this could be the advantage then that Padovani needs, and they're going to throw it in, and he might get an opportunity here coming up the mountain. Now there knows the tail here, Sue.
Here they come.
Boy, Cornelis kept it really, really tight coming through the cutting there, right up against the wall on the inside.
More traffic as well, and that will also be the driver then of Pablo Villafañez then, and also Jake Robson, so 2 GT3s then need to find a way through up through Skyline, and Padovani can't let it go. He needs to stay on the back, so they will all bunch up then and try and make it down Conrad.
Yeah, he doesn't mind if they get him down the Conrad straight, but he doesn't want any passing done before they get to Forest Elbow. Padovani, he's been waiting for the entire time that we've been on air at GSRC for this opportunity, and now he's got it. If he can get a good drive off this corner, he's close enough to make a run right here. He doesn't have to worry so much about traffic, but Vanderbilt with a great exit out of Ford Elbow.
97 gets a stop and go penalty to 97 is the GTL VRT Silver. That is for avoidable contact. It will be a stop and go, I believe. That would be the one with Juha Pekalami. And you can see here, he's got the run. Yeah, here he goes. He tries it down into the chase. No, now he's got to do it here, and the defensive line is being taken down the inside. He tries. Let's stay it side by side. He'll have to lose the position there, and he'll have to try it again at Murray's.
Now he's got the lap, the faster GT3s behind him. We'll see what's going on right now as Padavani has to take a tight inside line that's going to hurt his corner exit. He's going to let one of the GT3s goes by. Yep.
Yeah, Robson was fighting to get around there, and now he goes down into hell.
Yeah, now Villamanias will come through as well, so now it's starting to fall away, and it's the perfect opportunity to let them through then for that driver there of what is that driver of Vandenberg. And now it's just the case that it's falling away from him just under 15 minutes. You know, this is not what you want. The traffic isn't working out the way he would have wanted right now, and will need it to close in close right now, because now he has to let the position go surely to the World Racing.info car there of Byron Mukulov then.
Yeah, Viavanias made the move on the inside of through one there. That really killed the speed down the straight for Padavani. He's lost a ton of time now. You can only hope that Vanderbilt has the same problem when they get to Forest Elbow. We'll see what the car of the 666, the Red Devil Scuderia car, what they can do.
Be the only way forward then, and that is going to be the key issue. You can see he's looking to try and do it down Skyline. It's not going to happen. He doesn't feel comfortable about doing it. You can see the difference though is going to only favor that driver there of Padavani then, as he can look to try and close that gap opened up. But now you can see, though, he won't have that ability, though, to close in. He can only hope that he can get a fantastic toe coming out of the corner, and he himself then will have to let that driver through of Ruslan Byram Mukulov then. And that's the problem then. He just can't get close enough now. Had one opportunity, but lap traffic played a little bit of intervention in this one. Not much more that can happen in this scenario. So, you know, it's now a game of can he catch on raw pace alone? By my reckoning, I don't think he can.
Boy, it would be really frustrating if he had his one chance for the lead and he decided to hang on. Boy, he's right there now, though. This could work out. He made a great run through the chase.
Gap about 7/10 of a second then as they head to Murray's, and you can see car diving down the inside. That's not what he wanted, and through will go that World Racing.info car. Now he needs it to do the same, potentially heading up towards maybe cutting a turn number 3 and 4, potentially into Griffin's Bend.
Good news is he's got a pretty big break before Fag gets to him back there, so I think once we get this car cleared out of the way of the world racing info car gets out of the way, then they'll be lined up nose to tail again. Jake, there is an interesting, well, I guess there was a battle, was it for third position up there in the GT3s? They're not making up any more room up there. That's Venable.
Oh, it's back on again, so now that all goes on again, but that battle though for your Porsche 911s continues on again, and now Vandenveld under a bit of pressure here because Padavani, there is no lap traffic, and now he's on the back, so there isn't going to be anything to disrupt it right now. So that's something to note right now. The battle for third opens up a little bit. Cornelis not as quick as Hashimoto. Hashimoto 3/10 quicker in that last lap, and that gap opened up at about 3 seconds. Not exactly what you want, but Padavani now an opportunity out of absolutely nowhere. But here comes Charlie Fag now looking for the lap move right now, and will have to do it down the back straightaway.
Padavani very good through that section. Now down into Forest Elbow. We'll see what happens here. This would be a chance. He made a run at this once before. He decided not to do it, not to force the issue into the chase. Let's see what he does here. He's about 7 or 8 car lengths back. It would be a tall order to see if he can get that Porsche up there to challenge for the lead this lap around.
Yeah, but Sean, he's got now under 10 minutes to try and do it. Do you feel that he does it now or does it later? That's the key question.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we're running out of time. I think you better make your move.
Yeah, because you can't guarantee that you'll have that opportunity with all the GT3s coming by causing trouble.
Exactly, yep.
Well, there goes one, trying to do it. Fags, though, stuck on the outside. He's going to try. Oh, my word. He tries to cut the needle, and he just about does it. And it opens the door, and now there's a chance. But Pekalami now tries to go down the inside. Chances are just trying everywhere, and surely it's going to end in tears for someone. But in the end, it isn't. Down the inside, stop and go for the 18 as well. Contact with the 24, the 18 machine. That is the car in 4th position. It changes everything in terms of your GT3 battle.
Absolutely, and boy, race control all over it. Appeal quickly if needed, coming from race control now.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's all happening at the 12 hours, brought on by Team Buschfink. They're nowhere to be seen, but the action certainly is. The stewards are busy, we're busy, the drivers are busy, we're all busy, and everyone's leaving it on the road right now. The battle for for Porsche 911 certainly kicking off here, Soup.
I think he's feeling better. Padovani feeling real good. I don't think traffic is going to be an issue this time. If he can stay close enough, he'll have a great shot at him down the straight out of Forrest's elbow this time around. It's a long way back to Alexandre Martins racing back there in another. Well, that's in the Audi, so I don't think that's going to come into effect. But he's losing Padovani, losing some time now. He's got to stay close enough to see if he can get it done in the chase.
Yeah, but look how he's pushing here. He's pushing so hard then down that chase
really
section.
Good downhill.
And
really fast in the downhill section, yeah.
It's beautiful in that 911 that he's working in. Club de Valenti, Bandit Hunters. You know, he is searching for a bounty right now. And the bounty firmly placed on Vanderbilt's head. And, well, you can see now, he's going to have the draft. But again, it's just not quite close enough. He just needs to find a little bit more, Sean. And now, it's even less time. He's got to make a rash move, surely, at some stage.
Got him in the draft now. Oh, boy, not a place to make the move there.
He blocks! Oh, that's actually off! Oh, my word! Change for the lead. It all ends in tears.
I have a feeling there'll be another penalty coming, guys. Wow. Let's pick that up on the replay.
I'm going to make the call from 3,000 miles, half the globe around, away on this one. Yes, Vanderbilt took a defensive line on the inside, but he held it. I just think he got turned. I don't know how else to call that. That's his racing line right there through the dust.
I mean, he's allowed to. That's the key. He's allowed to take whatever line he likes into that corner. It was up to Padovani to slow the car down effectively. Now look at the race control in the next couple of minutes. Because if the 23 continues and just limps it home, nobody's going to challenge him from behind. There's not enough laps to try and do it. I think this is race done here in terms of your GT3 field, if Padovani gets a penalty or not.
Looking at the super best team, the car is still raceable, and the good news is he has a 6-lap cushion back to the next driver. The problem is the super best car is so damaged that even here with 5 minutes to go, even if they gave Volante a stop and go for 30 seconds, I'm not sure that would be enough. Yeah, I'm not sure that's enough.
It's debatable now because he still has to take himself through pit road. The question is, how much damage is there on that vehicle of the 23 machine? If you can still run a pretty consistent lap, then it's going to be enough. And for the moment, I think he can in this situation. I think there's damage on the nose, and there will be damage to the engine, but I think there's enough with the contacts there that Superbest can actually still win this one for the Porsche 911 category.
Yeah, I worry about the right front and whether or not that car is tracking correctly. I mean, he appears to be up to speed as he heads down Conrad now, but boy, that's tough. It's going to be really close, guys. Now we're under 5 minutes.
Well, that's going on. We have a battle for third in the GT3s. At least it was about 2.2 seconds before. Now it's down to about 1.4.
I mean, Cornelis is doing all that he can, but you got to remember here, Soup, Cornelis is under appeal right now. He wants to appeal. He has appealed. So the question is, he has a penalty if the appeal goes against him. So now he's hoping that he can get third position here and get the final spot on the podium. But as far as things stand, you know, it's still up in the air and up in the books. Race control are under a lot of pressure here. A lot has happened as everyone has pushed for the final few positions.
Sean, a lot of work to be done there. Okay, I got that one done. Now I'll move on to the next decision.
And update real quick. The 111 did not come in for that penalty. So I got to guess they're still appeal declined. They've appealed. It's been declined. They've been told to come in.
Yeah, they have, and that's pretty much all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen, because let's just take a look, though, at the clock then, and the times that are coming in. Padovani, last lap, didn't really count. Van der Belt did a 2:11.5. That's about level with what he was doing beforehand,
Yep.
so... Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote in that sort of sense. But, there is still potentially a bit of battle to go on even now, because Lammy has been on an absolute monster of a charge, looking to try and close down Robson. It's a straight now. I don't think he'll do it before the end of the race. It will rely on a mistake. But you now still have to look, though, at Fabrice Cornelis right now. He will have to serve. His appeal has failed, and that is third position, all but sorted.
How about a tip of the hat to race control, getting all that worked out here under the gun?
Yeah, they're all over it, man.
Yeah.
Really, really well-organized group.
Not always the case, is it, Sean?
No, it's not. They've been quick to judgment, and they've given everybody their time to appeal, and I think it's worked really well, Soup.
And I've been in
Padovani,
agreement. Here it comes. Cornelis.
I'm watching Padovani get into the chase now. Now that car has been penalized. Been told to come in.
And actually, he's slowing down. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he's not.
It looks like he's out of fuel or something.
Maybe he's just going to give the position back without having to serve the penalty. We'll see.
No, he's coming in.
Padovani's in, guys.
Serve it. Maybe, just maybe, here that car was not fueled to the end. You could only fuel 1 or 2 laps in that yellow flag position. So maybe that's playing into the mind as well. He's got to hold for 30 seconds in this one, and potentially he can fuel after that as well. That is the question. But he will get second now, no matter what happens in his class.
Yeah, Van der Belt gets around and retains the lead in the 911s.
Oh, just seen something very scary for the leader as well there of Santeri Kaikkonen as he tried to get around a bit of lap traffic there of Daniel Kraft. Just wasn't quite given the room. Kraft gets out of the way, and well, very, very fortunate there. That could have been the biggest unforced error I would have ever seen.
Checking real quick back to the Kias as we wind down here with almost a minute to go. Pete Harrod, still your leader, hanging on. Dealt with the traffic on that restart really well. Here we go. Should be white flag this time by here, Soup.
Kaikkonen in that Vanderbilt Sim Racing white team gonna be shown the white flag. 4 miles to go between him and this 12-hour victory.
Well, it's certainly been a roller coaster, and well, we've certainly seen how that has played itself into effect here this evening. And well, a caution, we said it would produce some good racing come towards the end. It certainly has done. Through goes the GTL VRT Silver there of Banjic there on Harrod, who is the leader of your Kia right now. He'll be the last car to come across the line when all will be said and done. But right now, what could have been 2 instants that cost some pretty high situations there, especially on that restart there, Sue.
And while the yellow flag did give us some excitement, it really didn't shake up the running order that was going on beforehand. Pretty much everybody's pretty much in the same order they were before.
Soup, I'm going to vote they let us do all 12 hours of this next time.
GSRC is
Crickets.
a team, or just the 3 of us?
I'll go with the
Doing
3
a
of us. The 3 of us
marathon,
work fine for me. Sure, why not?
I'm game if you are, boys.
Get Red Bull as a sponsor. Vanderbilt Sim Racing White working through Forest Elbow right now. Just a few more corners to go. One of the only cars out there that looks relatively clean. That 12 hours of racing, the car looks pretty darn good.
Hashtag the left side looks good.
As far as fenders and wings go. Dirty, but clean.
Soup being accused of a Murrayism by our director there. That was pretty funny.
Kakinen takes it around the final corner. Let's give the... He is going to be number 1. All S are number 2 or worse. Vanderbilt Sim Racing White gets the checker flag here. Wins in the GT3 class. Let's go ahead, put the camera on. I believe it's going to be Johan Vanderbilt is going to be next around in the Team Super Best.
Hashimoto going to come home in 3rd.
The other GT3 is going to finish in front of that. Evolution Racing Australia probably.
Well, Evolution
Vanderbilt
Racing
Sim
Australia is
Racing,
going to
yeah.
be the last car then that will come to line. They got themselves in front of Vanderbilt Sim Racing
That's
White,
right.
which just showed the pace. They were just too far there today to really make use of that pace and bring it all back. If they stayed out of incidents early on, I had a feeling that we might have been in for a grandstand for the victory.
Sean, keep an eye on your CQR boys. See if they get something lined up for a picture for us here. I don't think that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, there was...
Go ahead.
I don't think that's going to happen. No, go ahead.
No. Vanderbilt working through the chase right now. I think Johan, the fan belt, has to be happy after just a few minutes ago having that car nosed in hard into the fence. Probably thinking my race is over. Luckily, there was not enough damage to slow the car down. And he's going to bring that car across as the leader in the Porsche class. Congratulations, Team Super Best is Super Best.
Here comes Herod.
Yeah, Pete Harrod then is going to round the final corner and soup. A great job then from the Kia, one of only 4 that finishes.
Brings it across the CQR Bathurst 12-hour Kia. First in class, Pete Harrod behind the wheel.
Yeah, and Maximilian Scheider going to come across in 4th, finish his race. Daniel Kraft was 2nd. CQRS line, Matthew Bunn finishes that car out in 3rd.
Maximilian able to finish on the same lap as he got around the Vanderbilt Sim Racing White car. Finish on the same lap. On the lead lap. All right, don't go far away. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll take a short break, then we'll come back, run down the entire standings, do some driver interviews, and close up shop. Back in a few. do these in Welcome back to Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Team Buschfink Racing 12 Hours of Bathurst. We covered the last 3 hours for you, and we have closed it up now as we have our winners. We're going to run down the entire standings for you. We'll take them 10 at a time. Vanderbilt Sim Racing White comes home in first place in the GT3's Evolution Racing Australia. That's car number 228, coming home in second. Vanderbilt Sim Racing, the one with no pigment, comes home in third position. Fourth and fifth goes to Torque Freak Racing Corkscrew and another Vanderbilt Racing team, this time the Azul Flavor team, in fifth. Sixth and seventh goes to MTM Limit.be.srt. World Racing Info in seventh position. Thanksport in eighth. Red Devil Scuderia in the ninth position. And that's the last car on of the GT3s. Then your winner in the Porsche class, and that was Team Superbest. Give it over here to Jake to take the next 10.
Again, 11th position, controversy towards the end. Then Club de Volante, the Bandit Hunters, end up with the bounty on their heads from the stewards when all was said and done. Spirit Sim Racing, then the GT3 car, comes home in 12th position. Blackadder Motorsports, then the 10, then the 69. Was the other way around when we started. It gets itself to this when they finished 13th and 14th respectively, with Pure Motorsports finishing 15th. CQR Bathurst, 12-hour Kia. The first Kia comes home and takes that crown with the CQR Bandits and CQR S-Line making it uno, dos, and tres for a CQR lockout. 19th will go to the SimRC.de Asia Tech car. There, the German outlet finishes in 19th. Rounding out the top 20, GTL VRT Silver, handing it over to Crackers.
All right, and let's pick it up in 21st. That's going to be Spirit of Le Mans. Going to finish 21st today, and that's the first GT3 here for a moment. The 381, boy, we saw a lot of that car today. Torque Freak Racing, Radeon, 22nd. Proper Backfire Racing, they blew a motor earlier. Proper Backfire it was. 23rd, Sonic Racing Team, 24th. Blackadder Motorsports, 66. 25th place. They had a rough go, 298 laps down. Graphite Racing, these are all going to be cars that did not finish at this point. Graphite Racing, 26th. Black Marker Motorsport, 27th. Boots Ed Motorsport, 28th. And let's see, 29th, Fitstye Motorsport GT. And 30th, going to be Never Quit Racing Soup. And unfortunately, they didn't finish.
Why don't you take it out there, Sean? There's
all right, I'll write it out. 31st, Crash and Burns Racing, and yes, they
good
did.
Day for them, huh?
323 laps ago. Yes, Squales Racing Team 32nd, Slingshot Sim Racing 33rd, Fitstye Motorsport 34th, Team Buschfink Racing Red 35th, 36th Team Buschfink Racing Yellow 37th, Blackadder Motorsport 67, and the last car in today's field, Dynamic Sim Racing Alpha, is going to be that it for 38.
Then it looks like we have some interviews here. It looks like Ian Ford is there. I was trying to find out exactly what team Ian was racing for before we bring him in.
He was on the Evolution team.
There we go. Yeah, that's what
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We'll talk to Ian Ford, racing for Evolution Racing. Ian, congratulations on your finish today. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I did the first 2 hours and then had about 2 hours sleep after managing to rope in a third driver to give us a bit of a helping hand, and came back. The car was still only one lap down. I heard that we were as far as like 3 laps down there at one point, and to drive as hard as we did there, no matter what came, whether there was green flag racing or safety cars, it was just going to be absolutely balls to the wall and see where we end up, and luckily enough to come back here home in second.
You a little worried when that late yellow came out and bunched all those guys up, and all of a sudden your second place position could have turned as worse as maybe a fifth?
No, not really. Me and Brenton O'Brien were both trying to figure out whether or not we could fuel save during the safety car, and hoping whether the safety car was long enough and to try and fuel save the fuel that we needed. But in the end we went, okay, new tyres, we'll just that way we've got the maximum chance of fighting off any attacks if they come. And in the end, a bit of pride came down, and we decided to go balls to the wall to try and take our lap back and finish as the only car on the lead lap other than the winner.
The Evolution Racing Australia number 228 car was dusty after 12 hours, but all the fenders were straight?
No, definitely not. I probably put it in the wall on about the 6th lap and just got panel damage and slowed the car down in a straight line. And I think all three of us that drove in the car did the absolutely same thing. And, I'm sure there's no Logitech panels left on the car because we pretty much, kept on getting into little scrapes every now and then just through all the back markers and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. It was a fantastic race, and to finish up where we did, definitely a great thing. Fighting 3 different teammates all fighting in the top 3, it's pretty hard to make sure that you don't get bottled up or any dirty tricks, but they played fair, and yeah, it was just great.
Well, it must be, I'm guessing, early Sunday morning where you are right now, so maybe a little nap in your future here?
I'm pretty good. I had 2 hours sleep roughly, so I'll be right for the next few hours until the Red Bull and pizza that I had to get me going wears off. But I think Brenton O'Brien, who's just chilling out in our interview room there in the green room, I believe that he's about to crash because he's been in the service since about 4:30, trying to figure out who we actually had driving with us, considering it was just us two at about 4 o'clock yesterday.
Bring Brenton in real quick. Brenton, I'll bring you in real quick. Congratulations, Evolution Racing. Nice job today.
I thought you forgot about me, boys.
Well, we'll let you guys talk at the same time. Second place. You pretty tired?
Been doing this since 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It's 20 past 8 in the morning here where I am now. I haven't been to bed yet. Looking forward to a bit of rest for sure.
Well, congratulations. All the hard work paid off. Second place. I know you banged up the car a little bit yourself, and so did your partner, but you brought it home in second. Congratulations.
Did he tell you I banged up the car? He's full of... Anyway. No, I didn't. That car was
I
clean.
just couldn't take all the blame for it.
That car was clean. I handed the keys over. It's still shiny.
All right, well, you guys can work it out among yourselves. Congratulations, Evolution Racing Australia. Good job, boys.
Cheers, boys.
There you have it. You both drivers in your second place finishing car today. Okay, who do we have next? Anybody up? Any volunteers? Who we taking?
I think we're gonna talk to Paul Smith here. Jake's caught up with him.
Yeah, Paul, nice to see you again there, buddy. It just seems that you and Bathurst in 12-hour races, they go hand in hand.
It's almost like we were talking to each other yesterday, Jack. Yes, it's what a race. Right at the start, the first lap, the CQRS line car lost control going down into Forest Elbow, and I had nowhere to go in that one. So basically went into him. That's where all our damage in the front end came from in that one. And it was just a case of working our way through, trying to get laps back where we could. And in the end, just a few mistakes from the CQ Armoured Bandits, and we ended up winning the class. I'm blown away. This is 3 wins now at Bathurst, and my teammates will hate me for saying that.
Certainly will, but you found yourself in a situation, the car continues to get worked on again and again, and it seemed for the longest time that it wouldn't happen for you. Then you see that mistake from your esteemed teammate in the form of Daniel Croft, rolling it as heading down the chase. Well, not even the chase, down the mountain even, I should say. You put the work in, you put the effort in. CQR as a team, we know how much pedigree they have in a Kia, and to go 1, 2, and 3 in a Kia race, you have to say, hats off to the boys back there, all 12 of them that were putting in the effort, from the likes of Diogo, Pete Howard as well, the likes of Kraft, Baker, all of them, surely.
Yeah, I mean, you missed out Matt Bunn, Russell Laidler, Michael Hall, Magic Sakovic,
They won't
Jake
mind.
Blackall, of course, who I won Bathurst 12 Hours with a few weeks ago, that the Australian community organised. So yeah, that was really good. Also Andy Schill, Butch, he did a good job there at the end as well for them. But as a team, I think we couldn't have asked for a better result than a 1, 2, 3, and to represent CQRS line and also Race Hub with ourselves. And it's a great way to finish the race. maybe not ideal that all three cars are a bit banged up and a bit bent, but that Kia coming over the top of the mountain down through Skyline and down through the cutting, the back end just wants to dance away from you, and it was a roller coaster ride every lap. So we did a great job and managed to pretty much keep it out of trouble there. But yeah, it was a great effort from everyone. It was a team effort, you know. Yeah, everyone, even though we were all fighting against each other, we were working as a team, and we ended up getting the win.
Certainly did. And well, two final things before we let you loose here, Paul. The first thing is about lap traffic, and being that lap traffic in a sense, being the slowest car on the grid is always a difficult task for anyone who is trying to get into endurance racing. You know, you have to drive a different style. You've got to let everyone through. And that patience and, that concentration level is arguably got to be as high, if not higher, than those drivers trying to make those moves to begin with. And secondly, of course, your team gets a 1, 2, 3, you get your third win, which you can brag about when you get home. So anyone that you would like to give a shout out to the boys back home?
Well, first of all, just on your first point about the traffic, I think pretty much everybody worked well. It's everyone has to work together around a track like Mount Panorama. Coming down that mountain, you cannot get past if you're one of the faster cars. So it was great to see a lot of cooperation going on there. Not everyone was like that, but the majority of the grid was like that. So thanks a lot to those guys for bearing with us. And you say we were slowest car. We were keeping up with those GT3 cars down the Conrad Straight. In fact, we were faster than some of them. So, that Kia, a lot of people, mock it and things like that, but 375 Korean horses underneath that hot hood, my friend. That takes some beating. But I tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic. I just want to say thank you to the organisers, all the admins, everyone who contributed towards getting this fantastic broadcast with GSRC. Never had the pleasure of working with GSRC. I must change that at some point. But yeah, everyone who was involved in the race, everyone who was patient and bared with us as we were working through his lap traffic. Thank you guys to those guys, and also CQRS Line and also Race Hub, who sponsored our team. Thanks a lot to those guys, because without them we wouldn't have got the support and we wouldn't have been able to do this. And finally, the rest of the team, everyone in CQR who contributed to this event. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
Certainly has been, and well, bragging rights goes to Mr. Bathurst, I believe it will have to be called now, in the form of Paul Smith. Thank you for joining us, and well, who's standing by in the booth? I believe, Sean, you'll be standing by with the next man.
I am the man, the myth, the legend, Johan Vandenbelt, our friend the Fan Belt, takes home a big win here for his team, Team Super Best. That's Soup's favorite team, Johan.
Ah, that's awesome to hear. That means a lot coming from Soup. I don't know if I deserve that introduction, but man, what a race. I cannot believe it, that we actually managed to grab the win. I started practicing 7 a.m. this morning. It's 11:30 p.m. now, and it's really literally a whole day of racing. And at qualifying, I was P8, and I was talking with my teammates. I was like, yeah, maybe if we can keep it clean, and probably a few guys will retire. Top five. That should be good. That's probably well. And we had some problems at the beginning of the race, where we spent 1 or 2 laps, where we lost 2 laps in the pits. But after that, it just went superb, and we saw just one by one the other opponents falling away. And at one point, we were leading by 3 laps. So I have no idea where this came from. The race gods were good with us today.
Well, they really were, especially there at the end. It almost looked like things were over for you there at the very end when you got a little help from behind there by Club de Volante.
Yeah. I tried to. Jefferson is an incredibly quick driver. He drives with us in the Absolute Beginners League as well sometimes, and I know he's extremely quick. And we saw him coming in the last 3 hours. We had an almost 2-minute lead, and we saw him just decimate that lead. And when he was behind me after the final restart, I was like, okay, I have to give it everything we got. And after a few laps, I noticed that on the back straight, I'm very bad with the names of this track, but he has had such an amazing draft. And twice I stayed on the ideal racing line, and I could basically take a little bit more speed through the corner and stay in front. But I just knew that wouldn't help in the end. Like if you take the inside, your you're sure of a pass. So I knew that I had to defend it there. And I think he just slightly overshot or didn't expect that I would defend. Yeah, I'm extremely lucky that the suspension wasn't damaged, because that happens quite quickly on the Porsche, and I could continue.
Yeah, and I thought that might be a problem you were going to have to fight, because the right front looked buckled up pretty bad, and I was wondering whether or not that right front toe had maybe gotten a little knocked out on you. Obviously it didn't, but what a great day for the guys from ABL. You put that car top of the podium, man, and you know what? It was fun watching. I know what I wanted to ask you was, when did you get the damage on the rear wing? How long did you guys have to ride with that?
I do not know. I think that might have been from the contact I mentioned earlier, like at the beginning of the race. Basically,
towards the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So that cost us several kilometers an hour on the straights, but it didn't really affect the balance of the car too much. And at one point when we were leading, every time there was a caution, we pit. Even if we didn't have to pit, but we just pit and took as much optimal repairs as possible, and that way we slowly improved or slowly repaired the rear wing again, and slowly we got top speed again. But yeah, it was just enough to keep Jefferson from my tail at the end.
Well, again, congratulations. We'll see you again over at ABL, and can't wait to do another one of these. It was a lot of fun today.
Yeah, thanks. I quickly want to mention a big thank you to Mika. The guys of Buschfink always win in our league, and we're glad that we could finally get on the top step of the podium. But they did an amazing job organizing this, and also my teammates Liam and Vincent. They kept it clean, and they did a great job bringing us this win that we really didn't think we could be able to do.
All right, well, that is Johan van der Belt, and he was driver there for Team Superbest, your winner in the 911 class. And I believe Soup is going to wrap this all up with Mickey Eshouse, one of the organizers here at the event.
Yeah, we're going to talk to the guy who got this whole thing going. Let's go ahead. Mika, congratulations on a great event. You have to be happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, definitely. There was some hiccups along the way, but for our first event like this, with all this complicated stuff going around with the race control, with the cautions and the penalties and everything, well,
let's talk about race control, because honestly, Jake Sperry and Sean Ambrose and I in the booth were very impressed with the way they were making decisions fast, and of course they agreed with everything I thought that should happen out on the track, so I always appreciate that. Where'd you get those guys?
Well, most of them were my teammates. We had Josh in the earlier parts of the race. But yeah, he's from Australia, so he had to go because it was starting to get late for him. But yeah, mostly just my teammates who did a fantastic job helping me out, organizing this event and helping out with all the martial stuff.
Yeah, it was really decisive, very clear, and it worked out well. It made the broadcast easy for us. Hey, thanks a lot for including GSRC in it. We really do appreciate it, and keep us in mind if you have another one of these.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to give a huge shout out to everybody who donated and helped getting all the funds together for the broadcast.
And we decided to bring somebody in from your side of the Atlantic. We brought Jake Sperry, and I think you're going to enjoy his work when you watch the replay of this one. So thanks, Mika, for everything you did.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for broadcast. See ya.
Mika Eshouse, one of the leading forces over there in Team Buschfink Racing. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us. We'd like to thank... Oh, well, there is one more. Sorry. We're going to go with... I don't know who.
Yep, I'll take this one. It will be Fabrice Cornelis then very quickly then. So Fabrice, we're going to be very quick. We are on borrowed time then as things currently stand. You find yourself with a team that got itself in the end to 6th position. A late penalty meant that it could have been 3rd and potentially 2nd.
Yeah, hello guys, I'm still sweating. Yeah, that was a pretty good race, long 12 hours. We were only with 2 guys in the team, so... thanks to Thomas for standing me by in the team. Yeah, it was a pretty good race. We were 2nd on the moment. Then we fell back to 3rd, and then Evolution Racing picked us up, and we were 4th. And then that incident in the last laps of the race. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was our fault, but yeah, whatever. Racing is racing, I think. And yeah, we we did our penalty and then we finished 6th. So yeah.
Yeah, it certainly happened for you, and well, you got the team home in the end, and well, it's still a good result no matter what you say. Finishing a 12-hour is certainly not the easiest task in the world, especially around this circuit of Bathurst. And for you, a driver who we normally see more akin on the iRacing service to an open wheel setup, how difficult is it going from open wheel to closed wheel?
Yeah, I raced the Formula Uno, the prime time with you guys in the commentator box. Yeah, it's not that big of a difference for me. I like GT3 cars more on this moment, so I'm sticking with GT3 and going for that with that Black Band Endurance license, and yeah, we will see what happens.
Certainly we'll see what happens. Fabrice Cornelis then coming home in 6th position overall with everything that is happening, and I believe it is time now to hand over to Soup to wrap everything up.
Okay, I'll pick up right where I left off, right about here. Fink Racing for organizing the Team Buschfink Racing 12 Hours of Bathurst and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. Our original music you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. If you're new to GSRC, go ahead and use the contact information on the screen right now. Download some of their digital music. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including dates and times of upcoming broadcasts, or to arrange for GSRC to broadcast a race of your own, your best bet is www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And now, before we close up shop, on behalf of my mic mate Sean Crackers Ambrose, Jake Sperry, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.